Not yet. And we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Final Call, the Last Sunday Squad, a monthly gathering where a group of authors assemble to dive into an imaginary world, assume the roles of their characters, face grand evils, and hopefully have a grand old time doing so. I'm your Fable Master, Jack Fields, and with me is the marvelous Brian J. Nordan, the inimitable Katie Hanna, and on her way, the magnificent Rachel Lee Kirk.
She is coming. There she is! Yes!
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm late because I ate too quick and then I choked on a meatball. So I needed a second. I'm sorry.
So the
Silva, go.
No, Geneva's saying, wait a moment, please. There's an issue with Facebook. So even though it says live in the top corner, that might not be true.
Oh, okay, thank God. Okay.
That would be really funny.
I'm very sorry.
You're so funny.
That'll mean that you're on time and no one will know.
We're live in two places.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
YouTube and X.
Does anybody have the YouTube link? I need it.
I'm okay. I'm a little quiet.
Brian, can you stay quiet, please? It would be a nice change of pace.
How about now?
And actually, gang, for those who are live now, and we'll the rest who join in will obviously see this fabulous guest later. We do have a guest star this month. So following on from Andrea Parsnow, our first guest, from Michael Chatfield, our second, we have James Hunter joining us this month, which I'm really excited for. And yes, he's going to be on in just a few minutes, perhaps with the call of the Blue Fairy being answered. I'm gonna wait until we get a little thumbs up to start with the introduction for things. But just to check in with the group, you guys are level 4 now, and actually, I don't think we announced that last time. So has everyone got their spells, etc., settled?
Yes, because I had a chat with you earlier.
Yes, you did.
Specifically to do that.
We're live on Facebook. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Last Sunday Squad, etc., etc. Big, long, rambling introduction introducing Brian J. Nordan, Katie Hanna, Rachel Lee Kirk, these fabulous individuals I have with me. And we have a guest star, James Hunter, coming on as well, when we're really excited to host him. That was just for the Facebook people who are tuning in live now. And welcome to everyone. My friends, if we are all set, we shall get into this session. Okay. Here we go. Geppetto's Diary, July the 26th. Well, this is quite the turnout for the books. On our journey to the city of Tegeste Lipo, we were forestalled by Queen Bargnot and her goblins, who had taken over Castle Sweets and the other crossings that forded the Baker's Fork River. The goblins, by all accounts, were also terrorizing the little town of Calumny. My children, Silver, Aetiyen, and Lenora, were not to be cowed, however. They were outnumbered 10-1 and still triumphed, in some very small part thanks to a device I built called the Blue Fairy, which summons help for my wonderful puppet progeny from the least likely of places. It's my understanding that they were assisted by first a magnificent cat. Who is typing? Hi, Katie.
I thought I
needed my... You're so okay. It's all right. Your embarrassment, my daughter, is well worth it. I imagine that Aetiyen is playing with some birds, and Geppetto looks up from the diary to go, yes, nothing changing there, and goes back to his diary. He writes, assisted first by a magnificent cat and then a mad hatter, both of whom proved invaluable in the fight against Queen Bargnot and her evil tribe of goblinkin. This morning, we bid farewell to those who survived the conflict with the goblins in Calumny, including the innkeeper of the Stout Fox, a woman called Tettlemeyer Billybugshire, who, in her vast kindness, provided our merry family with supplies to last us the remainder of our journey, should we be clever, and should Lenora refrain from one of her hungry episodes. An hour ago, we crossed the river, making our way into a flat and grassy country, without scrub or rock or tree to speak of. By late afternoon, we shall reach the Fens of Fire, thence the almost yellow brick road, and north to the city I was banished from all those years ago. There we will take on those who would keep puppets in servitude, find a magical device called the Golden Canary, and change history. There my children will cease to be puppets as human beings understand the term, and become alive in a way they cannot even dream of. My heart sings a happy tune thinking of it, quite similar to the one Aetiyen is whistling even now as I write, accompanied by several birds who have taken a shine to her, and much to my son Silver's annoyance, since he is doing his tinkerings and repairs. As for my youngest daughter, I have a mind to speak to her before we reach the fens. As Geppetto pops away his diary, Lenora, would you come here a moment? I wish to speak to you.
She's like over there, like a bat out of hell. She's like, yes, Dad. Yeah. What do you need? I got you.
I hear that in a recent conflict, I heard it through the grapevine, or perhaps a whole wine tavern, perhaps, that in this case, there was a moment when you could have taken a prisoner and preserved a life, potentially. And instead of preserving that life, you struck your enemy down. How do you feel about it?
I think Leonora would be very embarrassed that he heard about that and a bit defensive. She'd be like, well, he hurt Aetiyen. And, you always taught us to look after each other, and maybe or maybe not, I was a little bit wound up, and maybe or maybe not, we did need to question him, and I might have been raging at the time, but these things happen. That
Certainly they happen. And your reflex to protect your sister is a very admirable one. But is it the case, perhaps I could phrase this as a question, is it always the case that for the sake of those we love, that we must take the most dramatic avenue available?
I mean, when your name is Leonora Jenkins,
Yes, well, perhaps one of my least subtle approaches to naming, but I certainly think you've embodied it beautifully. Lenora, yes, please, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, but you're right. I have a temper. I did accidentally cut off your little finger because stop laughing, Silver. Fuck off. I did accidentally cut off your finger.
That's
because
all right.
I'm a little bit quick with my axe. Again, very, very sorry about that. But I would like to say I'll work on it. And she's like, I absolutely will, Dad. But like, as she's doing it, she's already thinking of like, how sharp could she make her axe later?
I think he could even see your eyes straying a little bit. And I think he would say, you have a very brave heart, Leonora, a very bold and courageous one. But even when rage and a thirst for blood seems desperate for slaking, sometimes it is especially in such red moments that beautiful blue clear thinking ought to prevail. And you watch as landing on the tip of your nose and then fluttering away is the blue fairy. Ooh. Think about it.
Okay. She's very distracted by the fairy, but she's like, yes, Dad,
Yep,
absolutely.
yep.
And she's already like wandering off.
He looks at you wandering off and goes, good talk. As you all are heading towards the Fens of Fire themselves, I think before the actual scenery itself is laid out, I think it would become pretty clear to you that heading into this dangerous environment, it might be useful to summon an ally potentially for the dangers at Brisk. And they could perhaps make their appearance from what looks like a copse of very, very thin, withered black trees up ahead. Perhaps that would make a good appearance for them. And is it the case that who would like to use the blue fairy in this case?
I'll do it. I'm just in a good mood today, and I'm having a bit of a cool walk with my bird friends, and I'm feeling pretty good.
Aetiyen, the energy is incredible. I know. Does Silver? I noticed Brian had an expression. It was the case that Silver kind of passes comment as Aetiyen sort of the butterfly joins the birds.
It's just like I'm not even look. I'm not even saying this out loud, but it's very clear that I am fantasizing about one of her stupid fucking birds eating the butterfly and traumatizing the two of them. That's what I want to happen. I'm going to train Jasper, my little dragonling buddy, to eventually try and eat that butterfly.
But then we'll be weaker for it.
I didn't say any of this out loud.
But I can detect thoughts.
Eyes. Yeah, you're with the birds, okay? You are not thinking anything. The only thoughts you have is pretty and flap. Okay?
Aetiyen, as you send the blue fairy out towards that little copse, I think you could see there's an immediate a coruscation of blue light, and as it ripples and fades away into those trees, you see a new arrival.
Oh my goodness! What is this that we have here? What's going on here, folks? I sort of stumble out of the copse of trees, and I'm just looking around. Before you see a diminutive, shrunken figure with pointy ears, wearing a very stylish vest. He's got I didn't have a red cap, but he's got this very kind of a mauve, sort of pink, almost sort of the color of Jack's shirt, red cap on. He goes, "Oh, hello there." He sees the adventurers over there, and he says, "Hi, Malcor the Dread, Shadowbringer of the Crimson Lands. Everyone calls me Woodle. Well, my friends call me Woodle. I don't have any friends, but once I have friends, they will call me Woodle. So I'm hoping to fix that. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I don't know where I am or why I'm here, but I'm assuming that you are all good-natured adventurers and will not try to hurt me in any way, which would be fantastic of you, really, seriously. So what's going on here? Where are we? Who
I think Geppetto wouldn't have seen you use the blue fairy, so he goes, "Well, I think the Fenzifira, what in the name of God is that?" Looking at and I think James, your character, I think Woodle would see, definitely an older gentleman, and would see the rest of the group sort of arrayed in a little semicircle in front of you. As you all see this figure approaching, does anyone have any immediate reactions?
Yeah. So I look at Aetiyen and be like, "Wow, for someone, yeah, this is what you got. Okay, cool."
Yeah. Your problem is he looks like he could be interesting. Right, Woodle? You're interesting.
I am not super helpful, but I am very interesting. So a little bit about me, a little bit about my backstory, if you will. So my parents are sort of the Red Cap Mafia is what I like to call them. There's sort of like our whole thing, the Red Caps, we like lure people into the forest, like with beguiling call, and then we like kill them, and we like take their organs, and we like sell them on the black market. But the thing is, I'm very squeamish. So I went to like assassin school, but I was not very good with the blood part of it, which is bad because our whole thing, like we dip our caps in the blood and that's how we get the red cap. But again, very squeamish, not good with the sight of blood. So I did very poorly in assassin school. I gravitated more toward the creative arts. So that's sort of my background is in painting. I really like Monet. That's sort of my thing. Obviously, I'm the black sheep of the family. Enormous disgrace to my parents, but I am very happy to be here. I will assist you however I can. Again, I did go to assassin school. I did not do super well, but I'm very enthusiastic and open to taking instructions. So we have that going for us. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Open to instructions. You're good with instructions, Silver?
No, I've changed my mind completely. I love this one. This is better than the cat and the hat.
Lenora is immediately like, can we adopt him? And can I pick you up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm very small, very diminutive. I could absolutely ride on your shoulder. That would be very fun. I don't have a great land movement speed. Again, not very athletic. Quite dexterous, nimble. Again, lots of painting. I will warn you before we start. One of my sort of like things is that I have this hand. It's like a magical mage hand thing, but it's been possessed. It's actually a curse on my father because, again, he is deeply disappointed. And so it's a sentient mage hand that tries to undo every good thing in my life. So he's fun. His name's Jimmy the Hand. I'm sure we'll meet him because he pops up very unexpectedly to trouble me greatly. So yeah, look forward to that, friends.
Okay.
Why do you not have friends? What happened to your friends? Did Jimmy the Hand find your friends? Why do you not have friends?
Well, again, the thing is, like, our whole society is very, like, it's about murder. That's kind of like our thing. It's like murder, like, oh, we're going to stab things and, like, harvest the organs. But I'm like, I don't want to do that. That sounds not fun. And then I'm like, I'm going to be over here behind the tree, and I'm going to just, like, maybe I'll do a little finger painting with the blood. Just kind of, it's good shades of red. The venous blood is a little darker. You know, the arterial blood a little lighter. So you can kind of work with that. Good palette. But yeah, that's not super popular among the other red caps is the thing. So
you got a little ostracized.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's sort of, again, black sheep of the family. I was supposed to be like the crown prince, but my sister Mindy, she's much more murderous than I am. So my dad favors her tremendously over me. But, you know, sometimes it's the breaks in life, guys. That's just the way that it rolls. So that's okay. I'm just keeping a good attitude about this, and we're going to go on this adventure. And it's going to be great. I'm going to love this. I'm going to love it. I'm already feeling like this is a good group of friends who will not betray me in any way. I believe that.
I think as you're heading forwards, Geppetto pats Silver on the shoulder and says, perhaps next time we can hope for Mindy.
I hate the blue fairy, Dad.
I know, son. And you guys make your way. You guys make your way. Okay. Here's what you see.
Lenora just leans over and is just like, Dad, I fucking love the blue fairy.
Yes, I know, my daughter.
So I fucking love it. This is the best bit of my day. It doesn't matter what goes on fire. It doesn't matter what I cut off. I am so fucking happy every time the blue fairy shows up.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be good. I've never met the blue fairy personally, except this time, but it seems like very good interactions. So I'm ready to go on an adventure with you guys. It seems like there's very dark and foreboding forests ahead of us. Could be trouble, but again, I have like a nature sense because, again, my kind dwell in the forest and we ambush people and then kill them. So I'll try to like point out any traps that I see, other like mischievous forest things that are there. All right.
Can you like sense people? Can you sense other beings or creatures or people in the forest?
I mean, most of my kind can. That's not really in my skill set. Mine is more like look for paints. I'm very good at finding natural ingredients that could make wonderful paints. But like if I see it, I will see it. Say it. That's the thing that we say that I've said right now. Only me ever. But see it, say it. That's what I'll do. So you have my word on it. I'll be a good pair of eyes for you guys.
Excellent. Aetiyen doesn't really know what to say.
I trust this man completely.
Okay. So here's my
That is the first time ever anyone has trusted me with anything. So this is I'm really making great strides in my personal life. I love this.
I don't know why you don't have friends, honestly. I mean, it sounds like your family just doesn't appreciate you, Woodle.
Oh, it sounds like
years I've been saying that, but it's okay. We'll move forward. It's going to be great.
Do we still have like the doughboy pulling a cart with the safe directly behind us while all of this is happening?
I've been here the whole time.
I just wanted to hear his voice one more time.
I think it's supposed to be slightly higher. I've been here the whole time.
Woodle, are you any good at cracking open safes?
I am good, kind of. But again, Jimmy the Hand oftentimes likes to put in an appearance whenever I'm trying to do anything super dexterous and then, again, undo everything good in my life. That's sort of the curse of my father and his father before him and so on for 10 generations. Because, again, massive bloodline disappointments to my whole family. But, you know, Jimmy the Hand, we can work with him. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. I do have some, like, again, like, woodland sensing skills and such, so I think we'll be all right. Let's just do it. Let's go into this forest. There's nothing bad that could possibly happen in there. I'm sure of it.
That should not have been said.
I just want to turn around to my sisters and be like, have you noticed that the cat and the Mad Hatter, it took us like days to get information out of them. and why the fuck they were here, what they were doing. I know this guy's backstory, everything. I know his family tree. I know why he's a disappointment. I'm kind of with his father on this. No offense.
His capacity
Oh,
for
no, it's all right. I've been hearing that my whole life. It really water up a duck's back at this point. It's all right. We can start fresh. It's not a problem at all. I promise you. No grudges here.
Have you ever seen a duck swimming, Silver? It looks graceful on top, but underneath it's going absolutely crazy. This, and he points to Woodle, is an all-over duck.
I feel like there is a lesson in what you are telling me, Father.
Yeah.
I am just too enraged to see it right now.
I see that.
I will think about this
and
come back to you with something equally profound.
Sensing that Silver is obviously off-put by Woodle's presence, he's gonna trot over there like Woodle does. He kind of walks like this. He's got lots of he's a very bobbing, gangly type creature, and he kind of just walks over and he's not very tall, so he just kind of pats you on the knee. He says, "It's okay. We can make it work. I sometimes have strong emotions too, so we can get through it together, friend. I'm sure that there's nothing that you and I together cannot accomplish. I believe in that. Don't you worry."
Oh, God.
Now let's go. And then I'm going to hook my arm through his, I can't quite reach. So I have to like chicken wing it from up here. So I'm going to chicken wing his elbow. And then I'm just going to start sort of dragging him over into the enchanted forest that we're going to go into.
Sorry, wait, what's your strength, if you don't mind me asking?
It is only 10. Very dexterous, though.
I am absolutely being dragged away.
It's the ticket. Let's do it.
Those penalties brought me down to like 7. I am frail.
Yeah. So okay, with the interest of progression, here we go. No, not at all. Okay, here we go. So, ahead of you, we can see the fens of fire. The land is flat and wide and endless seeming, and all around you, you can see scorched trees, some thin saplings, some big trunked affairs, all leafless, with their branches clacking in the breeze and grasping up toward the sky like peeling, fire-blackened fingers. The boskage and the underbrush are raggedy brown and clumped, and the berries that have clung to life are shriveled, unappetizing things. Huge sheets of rainbow-colored liquid are rolled out over the face of this burned land. And as you draw nearer to the fens, you see a swarm of what look like little lamp bugs, little almost lantern-shaped insects detaching. One of the creatures, the little bugs, detaches itself from the main swarm, little tiny glowing insect, and before your eyes, he seems to drift towards the rainbow-colored fluid. The moment that bug touches down, the oil ignites, blooming into a big flower of fire that blazes up. Once before you left on this journey, your father treated you 3 siblings, to a dessert of cherries jubilee. He poured the brandy and he struck a match, and just like that, the cherries were awash in fragrant, tasty-smelling fire. And the sight of the oil going up like that, only not so sweet, perhaps, because the smell is acrid and quite repulsive. Welcome to the fens of fire.
Could be worse. We could be made of wood.
So Woodle stops immediately and opens up his traveler's pack and says, "Guys, I am so sorry. I know this is very bad timing, but this is just lovely. Did you see the rainbow and all the fireflies? This is incredible. I just have to paint this. It'll be quick. I've studied under the Impressionists, so like the goal is to really capture the moment. It'll only take maybe 2 to 5 minutes tops. So I'm just gonna do this real quick." And he sets up his easel and he immediately starts going to town with his paintbrushes, capturing this perfect moment of friendship as we enter in to these Fey woods.
Well, Aetiyen is actually very interested in seeing what he's doing because, she likes birds, she likes music, painting. She's never been very good at it, but, I want to see
FYI,
what.
just in the chat, Woodle is not very good at it either. So most of the things that you're seeing, if you were to glance over his shoulder, is kind of this mishmash of stick figures holding hands together and just kind of like these flashes of color. He's like, yeah, that's right. I think I really captured the texture on this one. Oh yeah, I got Silver just right. I got his pose, and it's just like a slumped stick figure. Just a very withered looking stick figure, man. Yes, perfect. This is exactly right. I will remember this forever.
I'd like to go over to Geppetto and just be like, he's the test, isn't he? Like, you're testing us with people and a cat. That's what this is, isn't it? It's a test.
Just like a magician never reveals his tricks, and then he walks away.
Magic is real, Father. We've spoken about this.
All right, with my portrait finally done, I want to turn to Silver and I want to say, boy, you look like you could really use cheering up. So I want to give this to you as a gift. Just a little present of friendship between you and I to really cement the bonds that we're already building here. Yeah, I think that'll be good.
I will treasure this always. Thank you, Malachar, the dread of the Shadowbringer Crimson Lands.
I feel like we're approaching the level where you can just call me Woodle. Again, I don't have any friends, but if I did, I'd want them to call me Woodle. Malachar's it's really my father's name. I'm Malachar II, and it never really fit with me because again, he sits on a throne of skulls, and it's just never been my aesthetic. Really, I'm more of a cushion guy. Really.
Yeah, call him Woodle. Call him Woodle, Silver. You're friends now.
Yeah. Just 1 second, Lenora. Woodle. If we were to become friends...
we're already friends, I can sense that. But yes, please continue.
Fantastic. Hypothetical. So,
yes.
In this hypothetical landscape, if our friendship, would that cause Malachar Sr., Pop, would he hate us for being friends with the esteemed Woodle?
I'd have to think about it. But not very long, because it would be 100%. You would create a blood feud with the court, really. But that's fine. It's I'm a good guy to know. Like really maybe not as good as my father, but I'm still good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not going to pick sides, but if I have to, it'll be the guy on the throne of fucking skulls. Okay. So thank you for the painting. You're Malachar Jr. for now, and we will revisit this later.
See, I'm going to win you over yet. Silver. We'll get this. Now let's get on with this adventure. This is so quirky, whimsical.
I just offer out a fist bump to Woodle.
Every time Woodle's going to give that bump.
How low do you have to go?
Oh, she is fully crouched, squatting down, to give him a little bit of a fist bump because Lenora is anyone who annoys Silver is her best fucking friend.
And now Woodle's just going to start skipping merrily along this path into this obviously cursed wood, just assuming that everyone is going to follow behind me because we are best friends.
I'm right behind him, skipping.
Aetiyen is currently very preoccupied with the birds that have flocked around her. They seem a little bit trepidatious for the forest, though. They're a little nervous for this pretty scary looking place.
Yes. Sure.
But she's just staying out of it. She's like, I am never fucking summoning that fairy again.
No, I got you.
I don't even know anymore what to do. I don't want to be killed by some guy who's got a throne of skulls. But Woodle seems kind of nice. But I've got birds.
Why don't you try and land the birds on the rainbow? It's so colorful. Let's see what happens.
You want me to sacrifice? Why don't you send your little dragon, mate? Send Jasper. You've got Jasper, isn't he? Wouldn't he have immunities or something because he's a dragon?
Dragon looks up at you, Silver, and goes.
Because the birds have no magic. They're just fucking birds, dude.
Okay, so can you make water with magic? Is there some way that you can, put out this fucking fiery...
your pseudo-dragon lifts his leg and urinates.
I was talking to Aetiyen, but I just look at him, tap it on the head, being like, good boy. That's adorable.
So I can't put out the fire, but if it's a problem for you, I can cast minor illusion and make it look like it's not on fire. I feel like that would be like a middle ground that we could do. Again, not super practical in terms of like heat, but it won't look like it's on fire. So I have that in my pocket. So for later, if you just is a thing that I could do.
You are winning me over by the second. Because if there's one person here that's stupid enough to go for an invisible bridge, you know what, Lenora?
Okay.
Well,
One
I
time.
am nothing if not a people pleaser. So you just let me know what I can do, and I'll be right. Except murder, I don't like that. But anything else, people pleaser. Yeah, that's me. Very conflict avoidance. So.
I don't have a water spell.
So, I assume, are you guys advancing?
Yeah.
I already. All right. Just out of character.
Mhm.
Jack, I'm so sorry in advance for this session. I already know we're going to get 10 steps into the forest, and that's going to be 3 hours of gameplay. That's what's going to
I'm so
happen.
sorry.
I'm not sorry. I'm having a great time. Okay?
I knew-
So is
We are
Leonora.
I knew
Great
what was
time.
going to happen. I knew what was going to happen when we got James, and frankly, I'm fine with it too.
I'm so happy.
I kind of prefer
I'm
it this
so
way.
sorry, guys. I can't stop myself. I go deep. I was telling Jack, it's like a method actor. I just like I went full Woodle. I went full Woodle, guys.
Like I heard James once did a dairy commercial, and he was just aspirating yogurt, snorting it like Coke.
Yeah, I mean that's not a joke though. So
Yes, sir.
take my dairy very seriously, buddy.
Yeah, sorry, we don't fuck with that. Like we're lactose intolerant, and so at this point, we as we advance, I think so. You would notice something pretty quickly, Wordle. The Geppetto figure, this sort of elderly guy, not super sprightly on his feet, but definitely a dude. These three puppets, although he refers to them as puppets, there's some slight indications that they're not feeling things quite as profoundly as a person of should we say, organic flesh and blood. However, they sweat. And as the fens of fire open up before them, you can see little beads making kind of, I suppose you could call them little sort of diadems on the temples of your companions. And you could see that, I think Silver in particular would be taking it pretty hard. The heat is very intense. And as you move past the fire, those huge, almost little ponds to small, large ponds to small lakes of flame out here in the fens. The heat is baking off them, almost like standing next to an open oven, you know, that sort of that wafting sensation of heat that just absolutely breaks your body out in sweat. And you imagine, Woodle, that, oh, okay, even though these are puppets, they're simulacras of people. They must be able to taste and to experience different emotions with the same urgency, but perhaps in a more subdued way. Although you know their story, they know your story. How could they not? I think, is there a curiosity in Woodle at seeing this, or is it the case that he's like, oh, they're my companions?
No, not at all. So as we're continuing to walk, I'm going to turn and I'm noticing this sort of sweat breaking out across their brow, and I'm like, hey, so like, what's your deal? Like, what's your deal? Like, you look like people, but you're not really people. At least I don't think you're people, and I'm okay with it. It's fine. There's no judgment here on my side, but I've never really met like non-people people. So like, what's your deal? Is the thing is what I want to know about from you folks.
Leonora immediately points at Silver and said, "Oh, it's a really sad story. Actually, he's a troll that got cursed and trapped in the body of a puppet. He's very don't talk to him about it though. He gets very upset."
I immediately turn to Silver. So I hear that you're a troll trapped in the body of a puppet. I would love to hear more about that and how that happened, because that sounds just absolutely riveting.
Yeah, it made artificing very difficult, but I overcame that because that's what you do when you go to a specialized school. You learn how to do the thing and not drop out because it's hard.
Oh, that sounds like a personal insult aimed at someone else. So I'd like to follow that, right? Just kind of pull on it a little bit and see where that goes. Yeah. So who dropped out of art school? I also dropped out of like assassin school. So this is not, again, no judgment here. I'm of a parody with you, but I'd
At
love to
this
hear
point,
it.
as he Woodle is expositing in his fabulous way, you can hear what sounds like it's almost a kind of strange terrestrial suckling noise, sliming their way towards you through the trees and that sort of tangled brown burnt undergrowth. You can see each as tall as Lenora, and she is rather tall. Their shells the color of smoke, and their glossy grey-yellow flesh, puckering and rippling, are 6 snails. Their upper vision tentacles peer at you, while their lower, stubbier tentacles grip pikes, full like incredibly long spears made of a curious red metal. One of them addresses you somehow without actually moving any kind of lips. State your business.
State your business.
Your business.
Can we keep them?
The other, another one of them goes, "He does mean business, but he gets a bit confused. State your business."
I'm pretty sure I knew this guy. I'm pretty sure that's Dave right there in the front. We may have met at a bar at some point. I can't be sure. It could have been another snail, sentient snail with a halberd, but I'm pretty sure that's Dave. I want to turn, again, I have terrible charisma, very bad persuasion. I want to turn to the snail that I think is Dave, and I want to say, "Hi, Dave. It's good to see you. It's been a long time, but you look fabulous." And we're just here. We're just like going through the forest. We're on some business. It's not important, but it would be great if you guys could just like let us get through here and be on our way.
And make a persuasion check with disadvantage. So roll twice and take the lower result.
Just, Etienne's birds have just fucked off. They're just like, oh, we're out here.
That's a
Fuck this
6.
shit.
That's a 6.
That's a solid. I think 6 is a solid number. Jack, I think that's a really solid number.
It's certainly a number. You see that the curmudgeonly looking snail in the front says, "My name was Dave. It's salty Malcolm."
Oh, guys, I got it wrong. I think I might be a snail racist. I thought it was Dave, but it's not Dave at all.
We don't all look the same.
I always say that they all look the same, but everyone tells me that that's not appropriate.
And the creature begins to poke at, not causing any damage, but actually begins to poke at Woodle. "Stop your business."
I hold out the mural that Woodle has done so expertly, and I'm like, "We are a traveling troupe of artists trying to..." They're artists, I'm a cartographer, so that's why this isn't mine. But this is...
You design toilets? And you watch as the other one goes, "No, Malcolm, a cartographer is someone who makes maps."
Absolutely right, not Malcolm. What is your name?
My name is Sydney.
Well, Sydney, it is an absolute pleasure to meet you. And
do you know
Salty
Dave?
Malcolm.
I called to Sydney as Silver's talking.
Wait, sorry, what do you say?
I want to call to Sydney while Silver's talking. I want to say, "Do you know Dave?"
Dave is my first cousin.
See, I told you that I knew Dave. I told you this guy looked familiar.
It's understandable that you made a mistake. There's a family resemblance.
See, that's what I was saying, Silver. All right, now Silver was saying something about us being a traveling troupe, which I don't think is true, but I love the idea. I love the concept.
Silver, you can make a persuasion check now with disadvantage.
I love this. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
I have to keep muted, or you're not going to be able to hear anyone because it's just
It
me
would have been
laughing.
great if it wasn't for the disadvantage. My answer is also a number 6.
Okay, the creature starts to prod at you. The sort of the more sort of irascible, the angrier one, Salty Malcolm, pops the pike at you and goes, "You're trespassing in Bluebeard's territory, bub."
Bluebeards.
Bluebeard.
Bluebeard.
Blue beer? Is that what you're saying? Blue?
Bluebeard's territory.
Bluebeard's territory.
Okay. Does anyone speak snail?
And
I
you see what
do
Sydney
not.
go, "I do."
I
You would think that since I have such a good relationship with Dave that I would speak Snail, but actually he speaks Elven, which is very, very progressive of him. So no, I don't speak Snail, but Dave, excellent Elvish. Funny story. Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me about Dave. He's multi-talented.
He has his own podiatry practice over in the Feywilds. Does like stuff with feet. Yeah,
He's
very good.
amazing. He works with all sorts of things. It's the opposite of a black sheep, really, is sort of a pale snail.
I just.
I
The-
think
the-
Leonora
Yeah,
would just
yeah.
be standing there, and Leonora ain't the smartest, so she's no fucking idea what's going on at all. She knows one thing, and that she's having a great time.
Okay. Okay. I think at this point, I think Geppetto would lean over to Aetiyen and he says, "My daughter, those ones in the back, I don't think they know what the hell is going on. They and Lenora are getting a bit antsy, and as we know, when it comes to powerful people getting antsy, blood, or in this case, goo, can fly. Perhaps it would be worth interceding. Try to back up Woodle and Silver if you can. Convince them we're peaceful."
Hey, so we are just trying our best to pass through here. We don't want to hurt anything. We're not trying to make any trouble for anyone. We just really like to get to the other side of this wooded area. Is it
I
okay
think
if we just quickly move through?
I think for sure you can make a persuasion check.
15 plus my charisma modifier is 3, so 18.
That's really good.
Wow.
I think, yeah, for sure. And I think that Sydney goes, he looks at Salty Malcolm and goes,
She's so nice. She's such a nice lady.
and Salty Malcolm goes,
There. Blue doesn't like, and especially with those women, those creepy undead women, and the necromancer. We're gonna have to, but they're not part of that.
what's it in English?
Good terms.
I pick up.
Yeah.
I pick up Woodle. I pick him up.
Yeah.
Don't throw him.
As a
Lenora,
rider,
don't do it.
I
throw
Don't do it.
may have
Don't do it.
throat syphilis. It's glorious. I love it so much.
So,
I
so
just-
Leonora,
I just
you
pick
pick
him
up and throw him.
I throw him at the snails.
I actually
Guys, I'm just playing.
combat doesn't even start. I think that's before it hits Salty Malcolm, I think that Sydney goes and snatches you, dropping his pike that rattles on the ground. And as he lays Silver down,
I hope you're okay.
sort of patting you down.
You're okay, little buddy.
Actually,
Not
that was
Silver.
very tender of you.
Oh, Woodle.
Woodle.
Yeah, no, that was quite kind of you. I don't know why I was just thrown, but it was very exhilarating, and that phenomenal dexterity. Great catch on your part. Very tender. You can call me Woodle, and we are now best friends. So you should let us pass on account of the fact that we're best friends.
Sydney
Friends
says,
do things for each other like that. Yeah.
he says,
Come here for a second. Let's talk as a group. And Salty, we'll be back in a few minutes, okay? I'll make sure they don't get into any trouble.
and you see Salty
Thank
goes,
you.
Okay. You're Sydney with his big ideas.
and they slither a little bit to the side while Sydney sort of pops his little tentacles, seeing you guys, and you're there with him at the moment without combat, thanks to Aetiyen's really good roll.
Why the fuck did you do that?
Oh, to
I didn't
Leonora.
know I didn't know what was going on.
But I just talked really nicely to them. And I was pretty sure they were going to let us pass. Next time, if you need to throw something, I'll give you a sign, hey? And then you
Oh,
can like
okay.
yeet it directly at them and we'll do like a bullseye.
Okay,
and you
deal.
do fuck tons of damage. Sound like a plan?
Deal.
Okay.
Deal.
Awesome.
Hey, look, I hate to cut in. Maybe I can tell you a bit about this situation we've got in there.
He looks down at his tentacles.
Our feelers, the situation we've got on our little feelers, and maybe
Looking at Brian's face. And maybe
you can help us. or maybe you can move on, but I'd appreciate your help a lot.
I don't think that there is anything that we would not do for new best friends like you. You tell us whatever it is that's troubling you, and our whole group, we're very conflict avoidant, but we're eager to help other people. So you tell us what you need, and my buddy Silver is going to make sure that it gets done. I can guarantee it. Isn't that right, Silver?
I pause. I just pause. I look around and just look at Geppetto, and I'm like, why? Why? Why are we here? So I'm like, I just turn around and be like, okay, fuck it. Yes, help. Like, how can we help you?
Okay, so here's the salt. Bluebird.
I missed that name. What was it? What was it? Sorry, Sydney.
So the first part is blue, and the second part is bird, and together it makes Bluebird. Bluebird took up residence here in the Friends of Fire after a feud that he had with Jack Giant Slayer. Her got into a relationship with
He's going on, but he is going to offer interesting information, I swear. And basically, actually, I think do you want me to just say it in my normal voice? Okay.
Brian says no. 100% snail delivery or nothing.
You fucking commit to this.
There was some weird stuff between Jack the Giant Slayer and Bluebird and this woman, Jane. I think her name was Jane. Anyway, Bluebird says that Jane.
I have a lozenge. Would a lozenge help? It's kind of like a thing. I don't know, that could be a thing. Just putting it out there.
It's perfect.
Weird.
It's actually just a fire.
And you see that there's a fire blazing nearby.
It makes me uncomfortable. But here we go. Okay, Bluebird. There's some women in the Friends right now. I think there's 5 or 6 or 7 of them. And the women, they're undead.
And he's the whole body sort of recoils from the word, from the idea that these women are undead. And he says,
the leader, Jane, this woman who was involved with Bluebird, she's a necromancer who was a friend, I guess, of Bluebird's. She didn't like the women that Bluebeard married, so she cut off their head. Every time he got married to them, and Bluebird thought it was a curse.
Who?
Bluebird.
Big
thought
Bird.
it was a curse.
Big Bird thought it was a curse. Okay, I got Necromancer and Big Bird. Is everyone else getting something here?
His wives getting decapitated. Bluebeard thought that his wives getting decapitated was a curse, but it wasn't a curse. Or that maybe some enemy of his was trying to stick it to him, but it wasn't like that. He realized it was Jane. She was cutting off all his wives' heads. Anyway.
I'm not taking in any of this.
Oh yeah, no, I'm leading up to a bit where I'm like, could you repeat that?
okay, so
I'm just
I'm trying so hard to concentrate on what he's saying.
okay.
I'm like,
Jane
just for the
is
sake of you guys,
decapitated
for you
all
guys,
of Bluebeard's wives.
yes.
Well,
So Brian's got it, but for the sake of the fans who are tuning in, thank you guys for the madness, and also for y'all, I will repeat the key information. Okay.
When he found out about Jane, he moved out to Dusty Leaper, the big city. He moved down here to the Friends of Fire. He built his house out of red drake iron.
And he shows the pike, and he says,
the drake iron comes from an old dragon that used to live here, a grouchy dude.
Just cover the ears of my little Jasper, being like, don't listen.
yes. And he
don't
says,
listen.
and he says,
And when Bluebird came to the Friends,
Who?
he and Dragon had a disagreement. Anyway, now the stones of the dragon are being forged by Bluebeard and their weapons to keep off the brides and the necromancer. Anyway, that's it.
So my
Well-
question to you is: one, I didn't understand any of the things you said, and two, how can we help you? Was there a specific request in there? I mean, do we need to help these women? Are they like captured? Is that their deal?
They
Or like,
don't have heads.
oh, they don't have heads. Oh, that would be terrible. I don't know what I would do without a head. I'd probably die.
Bluebeard
honestly.
doesn't have. Yeah.
But they're
In
not
the
dead.
meantime,
Oh, that brings up a whole host of questions. So what exactly is it that we need to do? Do we need to like get the dragon iron, or what is it? What is it that we're doing?
Sorry, I'm just giggling.
in the meantime, Aetiyen is glancing back to look at the
Yes.
like golem. Don't we have our golem carrying our fucking safe and all our money and shit?
Currently the golem is keeping Geppetto safe out of the Fens of Fire, and
Okay.
he'll bring him through once the place is safe.
Okay, good. Because I've been just a little worried about our golem friend and how
Gotcha.
long
And
the magic's gonna
Dad.
last. He's protecting Dad. As long as the golem's still there, Dad's okay.
The golem is going to turn into bread. He's made of dough. It is very hot here.
But
It
he's
is literally an oven.
magical.
So,
Anyway.
also, super quick, in our private group chat, Brian mentioned, I can't deal with the fact that me, held up 7 fingers, like the snail's feelers can manage that. I mean, I got nothing, man. He grew extra feelers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes. Yes. Okay, here's the chief details for those who completely missed that. Bluebeard. Hi, Rachel. Yes. So, okay, Bluebeard was involved in some way with a friend of his called Jean, who he discovered after years his friend Jean was killing the women he married, or so this snail says. So Bluebeard was married 6 times, and his friend Jean apparently was cutting their heads off, beheading them. Bluebeard, obviously there was some sort of hideous conflict between them in the city of Tegeste Lipo, your destination, my friends, and he moved all the way down to the Fens of Fire. There he encountered a dragon, an old grouchy dragon, who he slew in a disagreement and is now forging that dragon's scales into both his house and the weapons of the snail people, arming them for conflict. That conflict presumably being Jean, who has resurrected Bluebeard's 6 headless wives and has brought them to take presumably some sort of strange attack or onslaught against Bluebeard. And so this snail in Bluebeard's employ, Sydney, is asking for your help with the necromancer and the beheaded brides.
Well, of course we have to help them. Jean sounds like a terrible friend. I've never had a friend, but if I was a friend, I would never cut the heads off my friends' wives. That's terrible etiquette. I would not do that. My father probably would do that, but I am not my father. So I say that we absolutely help them. They seem like lovely people, little, probably slimy people. I love it.
So, what were you going to do, Woodle? Are you going to paint them into a corner? Or, like, what is your plan? Like, what are you thinking that we're going to do to help these guys?
Well, honestly, I didn't think that far ahead because that is not my strong point.
Far ahead.
But I think that if it were up to me and I was like in charge of the party or whatever, which I should not be under any circumstances, I will make bad decisions. But I think that we should like find Jean and then we should have like stage like an intervention and be like, hey, Jean, you're not being a very good friend. And you did your buddy Bluebeard dirty. That was not kind of you to do. And I think you owe him an apology. And then we just kind of see where that goes. Is what I think I would do. Yeah.
Okay. Here's my thought process. Aetiyen and Lenora, I want to understand that we all heard the story in the same way. And my thought here is that because of your friendship with the salamander, I'm wondering if you would try and avenge the dragon, which was slayed by Bluebeard, which would make Bluebeard the enemy. Or
Bluebeard is the enemy, I think, right?
But he killed a dragon.
That's what I said. He is the enemy.
Bluebeard is the enemy.
To be honest, I think Big Bird and Jim sound awful, both of them.
Jim.
Exactly.
Well, I love my salamander, and I don't know where it's gone to. I wish it would come back to me. But fuck
Just talk
yeah,
to my
I don't.
little dragonling, be like, it's dead, yeah? Yeah, totally dead.
No. Anyway, I would always choose to save the dragon. And I'm pissed that one is dead.
I
So I think, but I agree because Jim,
Jim.
Jim,
Jade is her medical of choice.
Exactly. I heard Jim.
exactly.
I think
The
Jim
whole
should
beheading
take
thing
out.
needs to fucking stop because that's just
Yeah, it's not
fucking
cool.
weird. It's not a productive hobby for anybody.
Beheadings is barbaric.
It
It
is.
is.
You're
is.
right, Sydney.
My dad has a whole throne of skulls. Lots of beheadings. It's very ugly. Very ugly business. So much blood.
That's absolutely dreadful.
But I do agree, Aetiyen, with your assumption that killing the dragon was wrong. That was also not a very kind thing to do. So I can understand why you might be upset about that. How are you feeling? Should we talk about it?
I'm always upset if animals get hurt.
I agree.
Although dragons are extremely highly intelligent as well. So, I mean, animals, sentient, sapient
Anyone
creatures,
who wants
whatever.
to can make a perception check.
Oh, can we all do it, or
Ooh,
do you need
yes,
one person?
I'll do it.
Anyone who wishes to, in this case. Yes.
I'll do
I
it.
wouldn't be paying attention. I'd be thinking about
Okay,
like Big
okay,
Bird and
okay.
Jim.
I'm going to pretend I didn't do a perception check because it
I
was
see.
bad shit. It was kind of like looking around, see nothing, and be like,
Did anyone make a perception check?
I did. It's a 17 plus 1. I've only got a plus 1 in my wisdom checks.
oh.
It's good. And Woodle is totally the focused on Aetiyen at the moment.
Yes.
That makes sense. Okay, Aetiyen. What you see is it's rather strange, and for a moment you're not even sure what you're seeing. But it must be real because it's happening. A kind of strange shimmering hand is gathering in its fingers the fire from one of those small little ponds of oil that has been set alight from a lamp bug. It's gathering the fire and it's bringing it very quickly towards Sydney.
That's not a good thing.
Are you attempting to intervene, or are you letting it happen?
I don't have anything like fire based that could like stop fire. I don't have anything that like water or anything that could stop fire. Can anything stop fire like that? Like I can't use dissonant whispers or
Unless
I
you
think
can
yelling.
think of something, I will just let it happen. But if you can think of something,
Like telling other people about it.
Like telling other people, yelling
guys,
about it. Maybe.
what the fuck? There's a handful of fire coming toward us. There we go. Like
okay.
that's
I think unfortunately, as you tell the group, all they get is a good view as the fire is dumped over Sydney's shell. And
well,
as the
that's
fire
not
cascades
nice.
down onto Sydney's shell, the hand, in some strange evocation of a culture whose criminality cannot be judged, the hand just begins doing this.
This.
And over the flames itself.
That's what you did for messing with my boy. You better watch out, or Jimmy the Hand is gonna come for you. They call me Jimmy the Hand because I break hands. You might not have any snail hands, but that ain't gonna stop me from busting you up, buddy. All right, let's burn all these fuckers to the ground.
As the flame,
Oh, Jimmy the Hand, why are you doing this to me, Jimmy? God, every time I'm making a friend, you do this. It's so terrible.
Woodle, perhaps your despair is somewhat premature. And perhaps Jimmy at this time has misjudged his target. As the fire cascades over the snail's shell, it seems to almost be water on rock, and it flows over it. And you watch as Sydney looks up and goes,
What was that?
That was me, Jimmy the Hand. I'm
That's a-
like an ancient bloodline curse passed down onto my boy Woodle here, and I'm supposed to protect him because he's such a weak bitch, so he can't protect himself is the thing. So like his dad sent me, and so now I watch over him. And you're gonna let us pass, or I'm gonna pick you up and then I'm gonna smash you into the rock. That's what I'm gonna do. Jimmy the Hand out.
Does nobody understand diplomacy? Oh,
Jeez,
I don't like the hand, dude.
He says,
Gosh, and gee willikers, I mean, that's pretty depressing.
Right? It's very depressing. I have to live with this guy. He's haunting me all the time. He's like a boogeyman in the closet. He comes out whenever I'm about to have a good relationship connection with someone, and then he tries to destroy my life. It's very difficult to make friends when you have Jimmy the Hand following you around.
For sure, Woodle. I mean, even in my own life, it's hard not to get depressed. We're like ourselves,
and he indicates his shell.
spiraling round and round in hard cases of emotion.
That is one of the sweetest, most poetic things I've ever heard. You have the spirit of an artist, and I really appreciate that about you.
Thank you, Sandy.
Maybe you should do a portrait of him.
I would love. Can I do a portrait of you while these guys talk? Kind of figure out what we're gonna do.
I would be honored.
As Woodle begins to scroll out Sydney, and presumably with the most cataclysmic results, the group can. I don't know what James is going to do, but he got up from his seat, and I'm a little scared. So, the three of you hop into a yes, head into a discussion. What would you guys like to do? How would you like to proceed?
Do we have to kill Bluebeard and Jean, the necromancer, and all of the headless women?
I mean, just to be on the safe side, I think we should because we don't know really who's the bad guy here. So I think
I
just
definitely
safe,
think
they should
Jim
all
is the
die.
bad guy. I
They
think
should all
the
die.
beheader needs to die.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the beheader needs to die. I concur. I think that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I don't think there could be a valid reason as to why they're beheading people that would justify the beheading people, unless they're already undead, in which case beheading them would be killing them. If that makes sense.
Question. I turn to Sydney and I'm like, how is Big Bird as a boss? Is he like pro-union? Like, what's the vibe?
What's a union?
I've
Also, that's a
completed this
really
portrait.
good snail. That's
This
a
is-
really good
And this is the enchanted forest, and this is me, Woodle the Red Cap. You can see I've got my cap on there. So I'd like to give this to you as a gift between friends. Is what I'd like to do.
Thanks, brother. You're much nicer than the hand that follows around in a bloodline curse.
I appreciate that. You know, I think so too. Jimmy the Hand's the only person that I don't really like, but that's all right. We can work through it, and I
Right.
think that we can go and help you solve your necromancer problem. Isn't that right?
Yeah, Jimmy the
Lenora,
Hand
don't you
seems
think?
like
Shouldn't we kill the necromancer, or
Yeah.
talk to him and have an intervention? One or the other.
I think we should do both.
Okay. Hypothetical here. Leonora, I really apologize for overhearing the conversation between you and Father earlier. Okay? Where he maybe said that killing things isn't always
La
the
la
solution.
la la la.
Wait.
Smacky
Wait.
bang bang.
Wait. And then the blue fairy that Father has given us, which
Mhm.
allows us to summon our hero in our time of need, is a useless pacifist. No offense, Woodle. A
None
useless
taken. That is an
pacifist.
apt description of my character.
Absolutely. Very artistic and creative, but equally useless. So, I think that maybe the solution here is learning and talking to them and to both sides and seeing which one is actually evil. I know necromancer sounds pretty evil by itself, and beheading, but also killing dragons. So let's maybe talk to them, find out who's the bad guy, and then you can Jenkins it.
Done.
If it proves that we need to Jenkins it, okay? So don't just do it
premature
because we've
Jenkins
already
it.
spoken to. Yes,
Yes, no
we'll give you the
premature.
go ahead and be like, okay, Lenora, it's your fucking turn. If
And you're not
If
allowed
it
to use
proves,
rage.
yes.
You're not allowed to use rage until your siblings tell you that you're allowed to use rage. Does that sound
And
fair?
if we tell you, you can go balls to the wall, man. You can just fucking
You
annihilate
can
everything.
throw your balls wherever you please.
I'm like, Woodle, do you think that sounds fair?
I think that Silva brings up an excellent point. He has a masterful negotiation mind. I think that this is a great plan. I'm not 100% sure about the killing thing, but I think that, again, being conflict avoidant and a people pleaser, that if you told me there was no other way, that I would do it. Because, again, I did go to assassin school. I failed assassin school, but I did go. So I have some like basic principles of like throwing knives and such. I could do that. So yeah, let's maybe we talk about it first, stage that intervention, and then we kind of see where it goes. I could be on board with this plan.
Perfect.
She agrees while in her head she's just like, so how would I kill a necromancer? But I have to make sure. Yeah. So she's just like totally on it. Got you.
But yeah, if I speak to them and I can get them on board, or Silva speaks to them and we can resolve this peacefully, that'd be great. If not, if they're fucking evil, then we fucking kill them. Fair?
That's the bit Lenora heard. So she's like, yeah, done.
We tried. I've tried. I've attempted.
So I want to turn to the snail, who's totally fine and is now my best friend, and I want to say, where can we find the necromancer? Which way do we go? And what's the safest way through the forest that will not encounter any danger or harm? I don't want my friends to get hurt.
Give me a bit of piece of paper.
Oh, yeah, certainly. There's a little Jimmy the Hand got in there. I hand him a sheet of paper along with a big fat crayon. This is one of my painting tools.
Hold that crayon up again. I think it's just a regular crayon. It just looks so big.
It's not. This is a jumbo kid crayon because Woodle has a terrible. So this is our for comparison.
But when we consider the size of Woodle, this is a fuck.
like carrying around a small spear is what it is.
Oh, I can hear the marine jokes.
Yeah. As Sydney writes down the location, you all head in that direction. Okay. Just in the interest of speed, I'll get you right there. Actually, oh no, I can't. As you proceed, so in order to I suppose I'll ask this question. Bluebeard seems to live in the middle of the Fens of Fire, at the locus of the heart. Where Sydney indicates is actually pretty far beyond that towards the north. You guys are coming from the south, middle, north. They seem to be encamped, these beheaded women and the necromancer, on the northern side, but all the way through. Do you wish to go through the center, kind of nearing Bluebeard's house on the way, or do you wish to go to circumambulate completely? Just to give you a sense, things seem to get hotter as you go closer to the core.
Well, I feel like we should go and just talk to Bluebeard, right? I mean, we're going to talk to both of them, and that's closer. So geographically speaking, it makes more sense just to stop and talk to Bluebeard.
But isn't Jim or Jen or whatever their name is who's beheading all the wives?
Jean, and it's actually a woman's name, Jean.
Okay, so Jean is beheading all of the wives of Bluebeard, right? Okay, so I've got this clear.
She's jealous. I bet.
So maybe we should
affair for Bluebeard, and that's the reason why she's been killing his wives. Maybe we can create a love connection. That'd be fun.
We should probably. Well, obviously he's going to be pissed because she's been killing all his wives. I don't think he's going to be overly inclined to, like, go into talks with her. So do we go to her first and take care of that problem? And figure out whether the wives were undead before she had to kill them, or whether she's just a rampaging homicidal maniac.
So if we think,
or do we go to Bluebeard first?
If we think about this from an alimony perspective, there's not a lot. I think there's a reconciliation here. I think that maybe Bluebeard would be thankful for Jean.
But they weren't his ex-wives; they were his wives.
Well, they're now gone.
Now there is dead wife.
I heard that he has 7 less problems.
Oh my god. Okay. So are you guys going to go to the middle of the fence of fire, or are you going to go? I actually
Being
had,
wooden, I am personally a little apprehensive about going close to the fire right now. Just because I literally have nothing in my arsenal to put out fire.
Is it Sydney or Malcolm or Salty Malcolm in front of us?
still Sydney is still with you guys. Salty Malcolm. Sydney's going to go and see if he can divert the snails for now.
So Sydney, I would like to ask Sydney is like, hey, so we would absolutely love to help you. However, this entire atmosphere and everything around us may cause us to combust. So would there be any chance that we could procure one of those wondrous kind of shells that you have that I could maybe fashion into, suitable armor that would be able to protect us from this sort of environment so we can help you?
My brother Brian passed away pretty recently.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry for your loss. That is tragic.
It's okay. I mean,
Brian sounds wonderful.
the truth is, Brian it wasn't even a violent thing. It was just, he didn't watch what he ate, and it just went downhill from there. Really.
As someone with a gluten intolerance, I feel that acutely in my bowels. It can get really bad. Yeah, that's very tragic.
Like, you're a snail, man. You gotta watch what you put in your belly.
This Brian Snail guy, he just sounds like he deserved it. Just
It was really smart though, and they wrote like some books, but people didn't really care.
so Brian just wrote in our private chat, I disrespect women and get fat shamed.
So Brian would have had a very big fucking shell, is what I'm hearing.
I think it was sort of, we called it well covered.
So that'll
gorgeous.
probably be enough for all of us.
Also, fun fact: I did literally pick a name out of the ether, and then was like, "No, roll with it. Brian's gonna find it funny." Love you, Brian. At this point, yes, my friends, he can procure that for you, but it will take him a little bit of time because it's a heavy shell, and he is but one snail. So I think it's the case that y'all, if you're willing to head around, you could meet up with the necromancer and potentially take them out should you wish, or talk. But you could take them out if you wished, and then by the time that interaction is complete, you shall have a shell.
Sounds good to me.
Lovely. Let's do that. On to the necromancer.
Let's get Jim.
Okay.
I mean talk to Jim. Sorry.
At this point, okay, in a clearing far from the intense scorching heat of the fence center, sitting and sharpening wicked-looking blades are a group of, well, thanks to your knowledge, you know that they're women, but certainly it's difficult to tell without their heads. You see they wear good traveling clothes, sturdy boots, cloaks to ward off heavy southern summer rains, but their skin is grayish-green and peeling like old fence paint. Their fingernails are mostly gone, revealing maggot-infested patches of glossy flesh underneath. And yes, above the collars of their leather jerkins, they have no heads. All 6 of them. There is, however, an exception, as you were warned. She's dressed identically to the others, only she has a face, and a strong and noble face too, with a hawkish nose and dimpled chin and high cheekbones and a brow made for frowning imperiously. She bears a savage scar over one eye. The skin is puckered and blotchy. Her hair is moon white and pupilless as that scarred eyeball. As you approach, is there someone in the group, and you all can talk about this out of character should you wish, who makes an initial, Leonora, who makes the initial approach?
No.
Yeah, I got this. So Leonora walks up to them.
Okay.
And she's like remembering what Silver and Aetiyen said to her. She's like, I got this. So she has her axe in one hand, and she's like, she thinks she's being not intimidating, but she has it raised above her head, and she's like, hey, I just want to talk.
As you say that, the white-haired, white-eyed woman gives a peculiar, sweeping bow to you, Leonora, and straightens up.
I bow back, knocking off my headphones.
Yes, and how actually, so unintentional cultural thing here. She's actually done a very specific bow. Are you trying to do the same?
Yeah.
Okay, make a performance check.
Oh, done. 17 plus 2, 19.
19. That same peculiar sweeping bow, and Leonora executes it flawlessly, and with subtle grace, and with a great deal of skill. The woman eyes you for a moment as the decapitated brides, should that be them, presumably, there's several other beheaded people around here. No, as they haven't gotten up, they're just sitting where they are, still sharpening their blades, but slowing, stopping. The woman looks at you and says, "You are very far south, madame. Je m'appelle Jean. Et tout?"
Leonora's in love. Oh, like, just
Can-
instantaneous. She's
can I
just immediately
check?
like, I think they're great.
She says, oh, sorry, Brian, please.
Sorry, I just wanted, like, the bow thing kind of, like, is a curiosity for me. I'm like,
Yes.
would I be able to maybe just, like, check, like, look at it to see, does it resemble any particular style?
Brian,
I'm
this
aware
is,
of, like, etiquette.
yeah, this is why I love you. You can make a history check.
History. Okay.
L'histoire.
I'm using one of my lucky die. I'm using one of my lucky die.
If you say it enough times,
I am
that's
using
true.
one of my lucky die.
Oh,
21.
And- 1?
21.
Oh, excellent.
No more lucky dice today.
My friend, during one of your father's discourses with you about the culture of Tegeste Lipo, the city that you're headed towards, your goal is that there are 3 bows embedded into the culture of the city. The one that Jean gave Leonora and Leonora gave back is called the hard wind bow. And it's a bow given between equals. There are 2 other kinds of bow in the city. There is the boar/sow, depending on masculine or feminine, which is a low bow given to a superior. And then there is the wolf, a modest incline of the head given from a superior to an inferior.
How
As-
attractive is the necromancer?
I gave her a description. Do you think that Silver
Yeah.
would find this person pretty?
Absolutely. I will go with the full bow.
You do
Not
do
wolf.
the boar.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
100%.
She says, "Monsieur, ce n'est pas nécessaire pour vous. Comment tu t'appelles? What is your name?"
Je m'appelle Leonora.
You
I like
watch
you said that with like a Texas accent. That was great.
That was
Grandma
great.
Pale Leonora crushed it.
and Jean turns to Silver. "Et tout, monsieur?"
Je suis vraiment désolé. Je m'appelle Sylvain. Ah, d'Argent.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off.
So seeing that everyone is bowing and being completely lost in this sauce, Woodle is also going to bow, but he doesn't know what is an appropriate bow, so he's only going to do a very, very shallow bow.
Oh, no.
You watch as
Just a
one
dip
of
of the
the-
head.
you just do the dip of the head.
Yeah, just a little
Silver,
bit.
you watch as Woodle executes the wolf bow, a superior to an inferior. There is no reaction from Jean, but one of the figures reaches down to a boot, and you can see slides something wicked and curved and sharp from that boot.
I
And
think
Jean
she's going to
says,
give me a gift, guys. I think I did
And-
right. This was good.
Jean says, "Colette, he does not mean it. Monsieur, between equals, it is better to give like so." And she flows into that sweeping bow. And
Well,
we
I
are
would
equal.
happily do that, but I will let you know that I'm actually a prince of a Fey realm, of a fearsome emperor god of the Fey Wild. But I will absolutely. You seem like a very lovely lady, so I'll do this bow as well. So I'll go ahead and I do the slightly deeper, more formal bow between equals.
She looks. There's a little twinkle in her one hazel eye, not the sort of blind white billiard ball she's been left with on this side. And there's a little twinkle in that eye, and she says, "And I notice another one of your companions are back. Madame, please come forward. You are among friends here."
Oh man, so many friends. This is
Well-
excellent.
So I know there was the low bow, and then there's the incline of the head. What was the medium one?
Oh, so there's the sweeping one between equals. That's hard wind. Sow or boar is fully low, prostrate, and then the wolf is a little incline.
Okay. So, and which one did Lenora do?
I
The
did
sweeping
mid
one, right?
I did the
Yeah,
hard
I'm
one.
gonna do the sweeping one as well.
Okay, between equals. She returns it, and she says, "I assume you are not here to perhaps offer your opinion on the weather. Instead, you must be here on business, since you look all attenuated with purpose. Please, I am Jean. These are the beheaded wives of Bluebeard. What can we do for you?"
Actually, I was here to talk about the weather. It's very hot, sort of abnormally hot, and I was wondering what the deal is with how hot it is. So that would be, I would love to hear about that before we get it, like lunch. I always say between friends, a little small talk
So,
goes a long way.
Woodle,
So
you're asking why it's very hot in the Fens of Fire?
that's exactly
think-
right.
Right behind Jean, a lamp bug lands in a bit of oil, and it catches fire, and she's looking at you deadpan, and she goes, "It is a mystery."
Boy, that is what I've been thinking this whole time too. I'm glad that I'm not alone in trying to figure it out. Well, if you figure out the answer, you let me know. I would sure appreciate that.
So, what is it you have come to talk to us about?
I kind of like gesture at Silver and Aetiyen, being like, "This is your moment." I like I pointedly step back with my axe.
I'm like
And I'm like-
pointing at the ground, being like, "Did you see how low I bowed? You're going to ask a lesser to talk to."
Ah,
Brian, you're supposed to be role playing, okay? Stop. Like we're supposed to be
Yeah.
role playing, Brian.
Yeah, no, simply Silver.
well, Etienne's gonna try and do this. So I was just wondering, I figured out why it's hot here, but I was kind of curious about the state of your friends and why exactly don't they have heads?
Etienne, ce n'est pas un secret. It is the case that these women were the brides of Bluebeard, a heinous figure ensconced in Tegestelipo, the city. One by one, he took out his cruelty upon them. I, Jean, was his seventh bride.
See, guys, I told you there was a sordid love affair between them. Didn't I say that? I said that. Just like a little acknowledgement between friends that I guessed right away. I knew it.
Alas,
I knew it.
Mon ami, it is not so. It is the case, rather, that when Bluebeard romanced me, he was a tragic figure. But on the night of our wedding, when I chanced upon the cordoned off area of his house that I had thought very little of, but wanting to acquaint myself with the premises of my new home, I found instead the severed heads of his 6 former wives arrayed on mannequins. And there, in front of me, was the last empty. And when I turned, Bluebeard was there with his knives.
So
Can
How
I,
did you
can I
get
tell
away?
if she's lying?
Right away, straight away, just feeling.
should
right
we
on
do a
track.
perception?
Horrifying.
Would a
So
perception?
I think I got a. Can we tell if she's lying? And then Etienne jumped in on it as well. So both Silver and Etienne can make an insight check to gauge her if she's telling the truth.
Woodle believes her 1,000%. There's not any doubt in his mind that this is an
18
authentic
plus
story.
So does Leonora.
18
She's on
plus.
board.
It says on my sheet that I have +3 insight,
So
so
that
it
would be
would be
21.
21.
And Silver? Oh,
That
I
one-
see.
That one.
Silver, Nothing that she says is true. In fact, you think perhaps her head is an illusion and that she's another beheaded bride. Aetiyen, you think that she is embroidering the truth insofar as the details of that evening, some of them are a little too painful for her to go into, but the ones she has disclosed for you are truthful. She believes that it's true and that Bluebeard was ready for her with the knives and that final mannequin stand for her head.
Okay.
Yes. So how would you guys like to proceed?
Well, obviously there was a reason behind the beheading. We all assumed that was just her because of the story that we got told by the snail. So it is more complex than we originally thought. So Lenora needs to not attack her for now, at least.
Leonora is so in Camp Jean that she's actually got her name right now. That's how in Camp Jean she is. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So Woodle has opened up his traveler's pack and is currently busily brewing some tea because he wants to be able to have a sit down with her and just kind of like, hey, I think we should talk about this. This sounds like you have a lot of repressed trauma, and I really feel like there should be like a dialogue between us. So I'm going to make some tea, and then maybe we just can kind of sort this out because that's a lot. That's a lot you've been carrying around, Jean, and I really appreciate you sharing that with us. That really means something special to me.
As you're brewing, oh yeah, sorry, Leonora. What were you going to say?
I was just going to be like Leonora, just like has a little moment with Woodle and be like, okay, Woodle, could you draw a picture of her for me? And can we pretend it was me? And can I give it to her? Like, would you be okay with that?
Obviously, I'm going to do that while the tea is brewing right away. You can count on me.
Thank you. Sorry, you guys continue. Sorry. Continue.
And you watch as Jean drinks the tea itself. She can't actually close that eye, but she closes her other one, and it creates a strange kind of winking effect. But her face, so poised in that sort of imperious frown that she's had, cracks for a moment, and she closes her eyes, her one eye, and says, "Camomile, c'est parfait."
God, I wish that head was real.
Oh my god.
I love you, bro.
Silver, no. Silver, no.
The one that got away.
I love that. Sometimes when I do a thing, I volleyball up. I play a lot of D&D with Brian. I volleyball up. He hits it down. Oh my god! Let's see this.
This one's you can tell because of the X and the smile. And this very sad woman here is our new friend who's carrying a lot of trauma. Yeah, she's having a tough go, but I think that because of your friendship, you can make this work. This will be excellent.
Leonora, what would you like to do?
Sorry, out of character. James, I need you to keep that. And then the next time we meet at a con, I need that picture. Okay, like this is, I need that, okay, for me. In Leonora mode, she wants to let you guys have your serious conversation, like necromancer, all that, but she's like holding on to the picture, so waiting for her moment. So you guys work away.
Oh, that's the sweetest image. There's like a fire blazing in the background.
All these dead wives are sitting off to the side of the log.
I love how they're all like just sitting there like as if it was just a normal day, except they don't have heads.
Correct.
So Brian is now kind of logically not useful because he rolled a nat 1 and he thinks like everything is fake. So how do I have a serious talk with Brian?
No. It just destroyed the infatuation. It's just destroyed the infatuation. That's all that's happened. I'm like, oh, she's not real. That head's not real. As in, like, fine, but we're still going to talk to it because this is a crazy fucking group. So like, we're going to try and become friends with all the headless people, probably, because Etienne's here.
Now,
likely, very likely,
a little bit nauseous because he is very squeamish and does not do well with dead bodies or gore or blood. So, like, he really wants to make friends with these decapitated women. But obviously is having some difficulties. So Woodle is going to very covertly cast Minor Illusion to try to give them sort of like these mannequin Barbie heads, so that they're a little bit more palatable on his eyes.
Okay.
And I don't know if that was a good idea.
I think so.
Behind my back,
There,
casting that little cantrip here.
And
I think that, yes, you could give it a shot. The aura of necromancy around the beheaded wives is very, very palpable. It's quite hard magic to penetrate in terms of the effect itself.
That's
But
a 19.
on what skill?
Well, it's not a.
Mine-
So I'm casting the cantrip Minor Illusion.
Oh, but this is the thing, my friend. I was going to have you negotiate your magic through it, using an Arcana check.
I love this.
Would it be okay to do a reroll there?
Yes. All right. I got a +4 on Arcana, so that's actually
this.
not a terrible thing.
You got this.
I got a 17 +4.
Woo!
Okay. So that is fabulous. Okay. So, and what did you want to form here, Barbie?
So I want to I don't want to be
Squeamish.
deceptive. I hate being deceptive. So I'm gonna turn to her and say, look, I'm sorry, you are so lovely, and it seems like this whole dead necromancy thing has not been super kind on your friends. So I'm just going to do a little. I'm an artist. I'm going to do a little performative magic, and then I'm going to doll them up with some of my paints. So I'm just going to cast this little spell, and then then it'll make them. You'll look nice. It'll be like before you were
A
beheaded.
makeover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. It'll be pleasant.
Magical makeover.
Please
It's a
tell
magical
me-
makeover. I'm combining my artistry skills with my minor illusion magic to sort of give them a
Oh my God.
lively facelift.
Please
Okay.
tell me they're all like Chucky heads because
Oh,
yeah.
He's a very bad
Imagine-
artist. It's horrifying.
Two entities combined into one. Okay. Margot Robbie, concept of a lawnmower. So the two of them together is the thing that appears. And
Lawnmower Man.
it's literally Lawnmower Woman, the Stephen King film. So at this point, Jean, as that happens, Jean speaks to the heads, and you watch as some of them put up hands and some of them put up fists. And Jean turns to you, Woodle, and she says, Blanche and Angel don't like it, but the rest are kind of up for it, so they've been outvoted. Parfait.
Beautiful. So I do my magical make only again consent very important to Woodle. So I only do my magical makeover on the ones who want this, and then I dispel the effects on the ones who don't. And they again look horrifying, but Woodle is very proud of his artistic ability. So he's like, "Oh yeah, that's perfect. I really feel like I captured the blush and the eyeshadow. It really brings out the features. It would have been there if you had heads." That's
What
great.
happened was, anyone you except for Woodle would have heard, look, he looks like not the best artist, but perhaps it will form a kind of intimidation for Bluebeard when we fight him. And you watch as the ones who have agreed to it are looking at one another, and you
Okay.
can see that their hideous heads, they're like nodding approval. They're like, yes, this will freak him out.
Okay, so she just said for when we fight Bluebeard. So we can't really talk to the ones that don't have heads, right? Like they can't
Correct.
because
yes,
they don't have heads. So they
Wait.
can't. But they want to fight Bluebeard. And don't we want to go and chat to Bluebeard and probably eventually fight him because he's a dragon slaying son of a bitch?
No, just kill him straight up. I mean, Jean's story is very compelling. I mean, we haven't asked her how did she become a necromancer? Why did she bring back the wives? What her goals are? We haven't asked her any of that, but I really don't think we need to.
Yeah, none of those things matter to me at all. She called
No.
me her friend, and she drank my tea. So I'm 100% Team Jean.
She's hot.
You know
On
what?
board.
I really want lightning to strike me down for what I'm about to say, but I'm with Lenora.
Jean says, formidable. We can move out. Then there is some problem though that we are dealing with. Malheureusement, unfortunately, the corpses are not able to proceed far into the fens of fire. The heat is too intense. It breaks apart my magic and sends it kind of dissolving apart. So if possible, and if you could find us a way for us to travel, we will be able to take down Bluebeard
See,
And
we
you-
have the same problem. We kind of fall apart with fire too. So
I think Brian's shell
Silver
taken off.
Silver was actually in the process of solving our little problem for us. Maybe he can extend it and we can just march with like a veritable tiny army toward Bluebeard. What do you think, Silver?
What if we just use like, reduce and then use catapult?
Oh, I can throw things.
Joking. That was a joke. Leonora, bad Leonora.
Oh, that
Okay.
If you trust
You
it,
should know better than that. You
we could
can't
always
do
use
things like
reduce,
that.
And then I could ask Jimmy the Hand to carry them through the forest. I mean,
Do you trust Jimmy the Hand to do anything you actually ask of him?
there's a 50% chance he would crush them dead. But if we're willing to take a gamble, I think it could be a good
But
opportunity.
if they're
for
already
a
dead,
relationship.
Woodle,
Exactly.
Woodle,
He might like this. We're going to fight the monster, so this could be good for him.
do you think that you should maybe tell your new best friend Jean about the demonic hand?
So here's the thing. I don't want to be deceptive, but also I feel like if I share that now too soon, it could, impact the relationship. So maybe we just keep
Now,
that between us for now.
Counter proposal is that how would you imagine someone might react when something tied to you personally appears and fucks shit up?
Well, that's my whole life, and I don't like it particularly well. So, but fine, I'll tell her about the hand. So I turn and I very sheepishly tell her about poor Jimmy the Hand and the havoc that he is wreaking on my life all the time. But how I'm pretty sure this time it's going to be different, even though it's never been different before, because this time we're going to do crimes, and he
Woodle.
loves doing crimes.
She puts a hand on your little shoulder. Hey, little guy, nobody's perfect.
See, this is why. See, Team Jean,
Except
we have to
you.
go help her. 100%.
Jean. Only Jean is perfect.
Only Jean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how the fuck do we get through this fire?
The snail. We need the snail shell.
Oh, you guys found the necromancer! You found him! And the headless bodies of the woman.
Yeah, I
They're
think we
very nice headless bodies, Sydney.
You watch as the headless women stand to attention, their wicked curved scimitars focused in on the snail as he approaches, dragging a larger shell behind him.
Oh, jeez.
So Woodle immediately moves and positions his body between Sydney and the headless brides. And then I turn to Jean. I say, Jean, it's all right. I know that maybe you have like a tiff with Bluebeard, but Sydney, he's not part of that. He's just a snail. We've already made friends. He's a good guy. He's coming. He's bringing this shell, and this shell is going to help us get through. So don't worry about Sydney. I can vouch for him. He absolutely will not do anything wrong under any circumstances that could possibly harm us as a party.
At this point, James, there is a 50% chance that your hand is going to interact and convince them that Sydney is against the party. So go ahead. So do you have 2 D10s for me?
Oh,
Absolutely can have 2 D10s.
You're the
Oh,
man,
shit.
dude. So if you're rolling the 2 D10s, they'll come up with a number that's basically between 1 and 100.
Oh, we're doing percentiles?
Oh, yes. If you have percentile,
Okay, I'll just do percentile dice then.
you're the man. So here's the thing. I need you to
84.
pick. Okay.
Sorry,
Yes,
okay. I'll roll again. You tell me high or low.
Oh, you're awesome. Yes. Let's go for high. You want high?
I want high. Oh, 74, which is unfortunate because I really wanted it to be terrible.
I
Was
think
that James or was that
that was James. I felt.
was that Woodle being like showing
as-
its true colors?
I think for a moment there's a kind of a spasmodic sort of thing in your hand, and then it passes. And at this point, Jean says, "Well," but because of that, because there was no interaction there, Jean says, "It was very good chamomile. Stand down." And you watch as the swords come down, and Sydney looks at Woodle and looks at the group, and pushes the shell towards you and says,
Well, I'm not sure what's going on here. I thought you were going to kill the necromancer and the headless beheaded woman.
No.
Well, like
We
90%
talked.
of them are already dead.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, well, we're gonna unalive them then. But I don't understand. Please help me understand.
Well, you see,
Okay,
they were already dead when she found them, and she brought them back to life to help her kill Bluebeard because he's the one who killed them.
kill Bluebeard, but he's not a stand-up guy.
See, that's what I thought too when you were talking about him. But then, after talking with Jean for about 10 seconds, I realized that I love her more than anything in the whole world, and that she is 100% telling the truth. And actually, Bluebeard was the one who's been a bad friend. Have you ever had a bad friend, Sydney? Like a guy that you invite out to the pub and then he doesn't show up? That's Bluebeard. A guy who doesn't show up to your birthday parties? That's Bluebeard. A guy you're like, hey, I could really use help moving a couch. And then he's like, yeah, I'll be there with my pickup truck. But then he's never there. He doesn't come with his pickup truck. And then you have to move the couch on your own. That's Bluebeard. He's not a good guy, Sydney. So we have to help Jean resolve this issue by killing him in a spectacular fashion.
You're telling me that Bluebeard is like my friend Gary?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly like Gary.
I've never met Gary, but he is Gary. He might even be shapeshifted from Gary. It's entirely possible. I mean, magic is very funny that way.
Bluebeard's a shapeshifted version of Gary. How did he learn how to shapeshift? He's a snail.
Maybe Gary's not really a snail. Maybe Gary was Bluebeard all along, and Bluebeard was shapeshifting into a snail to fool you into thinking he was a good friend, but really he was Gary. So really, Gary is Bluebeard.
This would be just like Gary's behavior. He's such a douche.
I agree with it. Yeah, he is a douche. Gary, I mean, we should. I feel like you should actually join with us in taking down Bluebeard / Gary, who we from now on we will just all collectively agree to call Gary.
Woodle, before when you were saying that you were convinced so quickly, I had my doubts and trepidations, but now it's been about 10 seconds and I'm convinced.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Sydney. You're a good egg. You're one of the good ones, and I really appreciate you having you on the team. You could lead us into like the back hatch of his lair, and then we could attack him more easily.
I have an idea. If some of the beheaded women get in the shell of my friend Brian, God rest his soul.
Yeah, no, he's doing a service for us right now. Brian is.
And then if the rest get under my cell, it's gonna be a little bit slimy, but it's gonna be okay in the end. Like life.
What's a little slime between friends? I vote that this is a great plan. Let's do it.
So Brian has just written in the private chat, I want to yeesh you all into the fire river.
By the way, the private chat, there's a clue in that. Why do you keep reading out how much I hate you all?
Okay, so with Sydney the snail, Sydney says,
Also, I'm not sure about the other snails. They're probably going to be a problem. So it might be the case.
and Jean says, pas de problème, my slimy friend. I will, Gordon, perhaps Colette and Blanche et Angèle, perhaps, and she talks to them and she goes, we have decided. They will take on the snails, and I will personally come with you to defeat Bluebeard.
Or Gary. We're calling him Gary now, but I mean, if you really want to call him Bluebeard, that's fine. But Gary kind of rolls off the tongue a little easier, especially in snail language. So maybe Gary could be a good like temporary name, like a nickname that we all have collectively given him as the group, since he's.
Doesn't Gary have a friend called SpongeBob?
Okay, I feel like we need to get back on track. Jean, at this point, guys, we are actually going to be heading in towards a thing here. So, okay, as the group formulates into a coherent phalanx, except that phalanx is a bunch of people under some snail shells, you move towards the core of the Fens of Fire. Even beneath the shells themselves, damn it, the heat is very intense. It seems to accumulate under the gaps as you raise the thing above you, or as you balance upon the slippery hide of Sydney. You can hear the sounds of battle beginning, muffled through the shells itself, through that sort of heavy carapace. And as you're moving forward and forward, Sydney says,
I better help the beheaded women. This is as far as I go, my friends. Hopefully I'll see you on the other side.
And he heads you out. And as you guys make your way, I think that
I would die for Sydney.
yeah, I think that Sydney
You might.
is going to
I love Sydney.
cast a little bit of snail magic. So at this point, which is like Disney magic, but it's easier. As y'all are coated in his slime and little bits of the shell adhering, you are not going to take extended fire damage. However, the Fens of Fire themselves won't be a problem for you, but perhaps other things related to fire will be. We shall see. Okay.
We're made out of wood. I think so.
A kind of, I've always imagined that
It's
the
a
puppets are made out of
lacquer.
kind of a wood, sort of a silicate. Anyway, and the here nor there. You're people basically, people minus or plus in some ways. Brian, were you about to say something?
I was just going to say it's like a lacquer.
Yeah, like like
Lacquer really flammable.
yes.
Extreme.
Make it better.
Snail lacquer.
Oh, snail lacquer. Yes.
Snacker.
Snacker, if you will. Yes, good, exquisite.
Good save.
I think
Magic.
there's been such incredible role play from everyone at this point. I usually give the whole D4 thing. I think that's pretty inadequate. Each of you can take a D8 inspiration dice. James, how we do this is on any attack roll or saving throw, not damage. You can add this D8, the 8-sided dice, to one of the results. It's kind of a one-time use blessing. My friends, I'm going to give you these details really, really quickly, and then we're going to get into Bluebeard's house. Okay. Strange and beautiful in the midst of the Fens of Fire, a blue garden of orchids, azaleas, dahlias, hedgerows, fountains, and puffy sapphire toadstools, all blue. Oddly, there's no smell at all. And I think that given Aetiyen, Silver, and Woodle's sense of the arcane, you would be able to pierce the sense of the illusion to this garden. It's as unlikely as the house it fronts. That the garden itself fronts. It's a huge manor of shining red metal, hammered out of the old dragon's scales, as you'll recall. 2 statues of a lantern-jawed, bearded, bushy-eyebrowed, and bald-headed man stand on either side of the entryway. He's handsome in a roguish way and dressed very respectably in a shirt with a cravat, suit pants, and cufflinks. As you head towards the front door to encounter Bluebeard, with Jean at your side, my friends, do you have any spells that you would like to cast in preparation of combat? Any sort of buffs that you'd like to have before we go in? And because as soon as we're in there, I think we're probably going to have a little interaction with Bluebeard and then possibly roll initiative right away.
So I think that the best thing I could do is cast heroism on the best fighter here, Woodle, my new friend.
That would be me. Yes, I went to assassin school. I'm very good. Bottom of my class, but yeah.
Yeah. So let me just see heroism on you. Oh, should I?
Fucking remember that, Brian.
Who's Brian? I'm Silver.
Exactly. Who is Brian?
Brian's dead. We used his shell.
Okay.
Oh, that was awesome.
Excellent.
So sorry, have we taken account of that, the heroism?
I'm reading it right now.
Excellent. I think it gives additional hit points, doesn't it?
Yes. So regain 3 temporary hit points. Blah blah blah, and then
I think every turn you get 1 back or something.
Okay, so it kind of
One creature you touch is imbued with bravery. Until the end of the spell, the creature is immune to being frightened and gains temporary hit points equal to your spell casting ability modifier at the start of each of its turn.
That's
yes.
3. Yeah,
so that's 3, and that's at the start of your turn. So, but remember, if you haven't taken damage that previous round and the temporary hit points haven't gone away, it doesn't become 6. Temporary hit points always sit at +3. They can't get higher.
Perfect.
That's the thing with temporary hit points. They're a bit strange that way, but just to let you guys know. Okay. Any other spells before combat?
I'll probably rage. I'm going to rage now.
Okay, got you.
I'm going to rage now, and I'm also going to, because I chose Path of the Giant,
yes.
so I got to choose Thaumaturgy.
Oh.
as my spell. So
Oh.
I am going to make when I rage, I get bigger, and my range increases by 5 foot. And
Oh,
I'm
shit.
going to cast thaumaturgy, so my voice gets 3 times louder.
Oh. So
So
when it
if
comes to the yes, James.
So feeling inspired, I'm going to confer quietly with Jean, and then I am immediately going to cast Disguise Self on myself so that I look like Jean.
Oh, genius!
Genius.
Genius. Good. Who made the genius joke there? Was it both of you?
No, it was
It was Rachel?
Rachel. Yeah.
Rachel, D4 inspiration dice. That was clever.
Gosh.
So, my friend, what is your intention here? Because, as you know, a disguised self doesn't it can make you a little taller. I think, just like
No, I know. I think Disguise Self lets you
shift the height a little. Nice.
It does.
Oh.
You can see 1 foot shorter or 1 foot taller and appear fat or thin or in between.
Oh. Okay.
And I have to have the same basic arrangement of limbs. So I'm definitely a more petite Jean, but still Jean nonetheless.
Okay. I think she would ask you what your intent is with this.
All right, Jean, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in there, pretend to be you, because I don't want you to get hurt, because I value you more than life itself. And then I am going to try to convince Gary that I am in fact you, and try to suss out a confession of sorts from him. And then once we're sure that reconciliation is not possible, we'll sneak attack and do some very devious, fiendish things. I think that would be
My
good.
friend, if you can, I think a confession in this case, it is not necessary. However, I love where your mind is at. If you can distract him, make him think that you are me, I can indeed do a sneak attack and deliver some pain from above.
Jean, you are as smart as you are beautiful. I will take it. I will be a wonderful distraction.
Woodle, regardless of what happens in there, it was a pleasure. And I think that she will look at the rest of you and go, and you, the one who is angry, have you got something for me? You've been holding it for this entire time.
And then like Leonora's like really embarrassed because she'd been looking for a moment, but she didn't have it. So she goes up and she gives Woodle's drawing over and was like, I commissioned this piece of us.
She looks at it completely straight-faced and folds it into 4 quarters and pops it into her shirt. She says, merci, pecks you on the cheek and goes to take a hiding place.
I can die happy now. We're fine. Whatever happens.
Can I just turn to Leonora and be like, have you noticed a pattern of everyone that you find to be a romantic interest dies?
Hey.
Ernie is barely in the grave.
Okay.
Just saying, like, maybe honor his memory by, up to you. Like,
I'm too busy going like, the hot French lady gave me a kiss.
it's not even real, you dumbass.
Oh my god. I like the idea that Leonora's intelligence score reflects the fact that like France has to be real. Yes. My friends, any other spells or will I dive into it?
I'm good.
Ready to rock? Okay,
Yeah, I don't think I've got anything I can use.
No worries, my friend. Yeah, you've got a lot of
Can I
combat
just
spells.
ask you a quick question?
Yes,
if
Brian,
I
please.
was to use Cure Wounds on a necromancer, would that hurt them?
Actually, your Arcana skill is high enough that you would just know this. It would not.
Perfect.
You don't think it would at all. Okay, so she goes off. I'm going to make a stealth check for her. Okay, noted. So that is perfect. Good. So, my friends, as you enter this place, you can see it is a gargantuan area. The house is sprawling, and as your simulated but feeling oh so real hearts in this moment palpitate with the anticipation of oncoming battle, and Woodle at your side, disguised as moon white-haired Jean, the necromancer, and the real one, presumably around here somewhere. As you dash into the manor itself, yes, you can see the largesse of it, but the real details you see are in front of a lit hearth, blazing enormously, silhouetting his body and scoring the lines of his face. And to tell you the truth, this hearth is tectonic in size. It seems to actually have been made out of the severed head of the dragon that he slew. Is a man. Okay. you can see puffing at a pipe and reading, the bowl of the pipe, which is shaped like a wolf's snarling muzzle, is an inordinately large man, broad and heavily muscled, about 10 feet tall, sitting in his dragon scale chair. Still stylishly dressed as the statues of him outside, he wears reading spectacles as he peruses a thick book. Bluebeard has earned that name through unconventional means. His brows and beard and the thicket of hair on his chest showing just over the unbuttoned top of his shirt, all of that hair is fire, so hot it burns a deep and flickering blue. He looks up at your arrival. Bonsoir.
Je m'appelle Jean, and you're Gary, and we're here to avenge all of the terrible things that you've done to us and to confront you about what a bad relationship partner you were. You never did the dishes. You very rarely listened to any of my complaints, and then you also tried to decapitate me, and I didn't appreciate that at all. Neither did any of your other wives, as a matter of fact. So what do you have to say for yourself, Gary?
He looks at the three of you, the puppets.
I am aware of this creature that calls herself Jean. Who are you?
We are people who are just here to. We're going to hear you out, Bluebeard. Maybe you were wronged by Jean. You know, maybe
He wasn't. He never did the dishes. Never, not once in our entire relationship. Do you know what kind of toll it takes on you when you have to do the dishes every single day? It's terrible.
Do any of you, any others speak?
I would like to do the wolf bow.
Oh!
I see you are versed in the politeness and the political culture of the Gestelito. Perhaps I can offer you the same.
He does the wolf bow, as my friend Bernard Wolf would.
I assume that you are here with Jean to enact some kind of vengeance. Oui?
That's right. He's actually he's the powerful prince of a foreign nation, and I went and I told him about what a terrible lover you were, and then he and I are now together, and we're an item, and he's coming. He's coming to avenge me, and has an entire army of weird robot people that will crash down on you like a hammer because of what a bad person you are, Gary.
He says to the three of you, again, completely ignoring he says, as if, and you can actually see in the burning quality of his eyes, you can almost read the two words, inane prater, in his eyes. But as he looks at the three of you, he says,
what will Jean and her beheaded brides offer you? Thanks in the form of words, perhaps some gestures for the ones who do not have mouths anymore. I can offer you the insight into those you are seeking. I know who you are, puppets of Geppetto. I know that you head to the Gestelito. I can provide some of my flam.
And you watch as the fire ignites around him in blue ripples. And he says,
it will assist you against them.
So-
Simply turn on Jean and the brides, and I will give you this flame.
Just have a question, mate. So, did you have anything to do with decapitating all of the brides? Just curious.
You watch as he takes a moment, puffing at the pipe, and then sets it down on the chair he was sitting on. He says,
the killing of men is a purpose, something that one does to get from point A to point B. The killing of women is a pleasure.
Yeah, he
I'd like to
does. He
jump in.
definitely did. That's a confession if I've ever heard one. Bad guy also does not do dishes.
I'd like to jump in here. Okay. So my logical brain, because I'm just there looking at this, I'm like, your friend Bernard Wolf was also friends with Queen Bargnot. who destroyed Don Bertolo's workshop and invaded a beautiful little village and endangered our father. So, unfortunately, your choice of friends, and we're learning a lot about friendship from our good friend Jean, and I think that maybe we can't be friends with you.
Or allies. Or anything of the above.
Then
My best guess is that this little trinket that you're offering us for protection will still exist when you're dead.
we shall see. And you watch as he closes his fist, you watch as 6 spotlights emerge, showing hidden in the shadows of the room the 6 decapitated heads of his former brides. You watch as he displays wide his hands. Several more spotlights of blue emerge throughout the room, showing empty mannequins. My collection will call today. Formidable. You watch as he rushes all 3 of you. We are in initiative. So, James, in D&D traditionally, the initiative is done in a kind of a scramble, right? Here in this game, we do the initiative with the players and their allies going first, and then the enemy getting reactions to that. Now, the enemies are a little tougher because of that, but you guys have the first move. And after all 4 of you go, perhaps there should be a little surprise for Bluebeard.
Is it just Bluebeard, or does he have mates with him?
For the moment, it seems to just be him. The snails are engaged in combat with the beheaded brides at the front. And yes, so seemingly just him. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm gonna. So he's running toward us, right?
He's rushing. Yeah, he's despicably fast for a man of that size.
Okay, so I'm gonna do my usual. I'm gonna dissonant whisper him because it's fun.
Excellent. Okay. And what kind of save is this, my friend? Is it wisdom?
I think so. Yes.
Excellent. Okay. It doesn't have a huge bonus on wisdom. However, that is a 16 plus 2. That is 18. So does he still take half damage, though, KT?
He should, yeah.
Excellent. So I believe that's 3d6 psychic damage halved.
Yep. Okay, let me roll.
Excellent.
12 for 6.
6 points. Thank you very much. And Aetiyen, are you just sending that out in the form of dissonant whispers from your face, or is it the case that you've got kind of a different spell effect in mind?
Oh no, I just shot him in the brain.
Oh, it's literally just a wham. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I think there would be a twitch from Bluebeard at that. He definitely felt it. My friend, does that end your turn, or do you have any other actions?
I don't have any bonus actions that I can use because he's not running away from us.
No worries, my excellent friend. In which case, who's next?
So
I've already rolled.
Oh, go for it.
Oh, okay, Lenora Jenkins.
Dirty 20 to hit.
Dirty 20 to hit. Okay, Lenora. He is going to use Guardian Block. When an enemy within 10 feet of him hits him with an attack, he can halve the damage.
Great.
So you are going to hit, but deal half damage.
Already rolled 12 points of damage.
So that becomes 6. How are you striking?
So she's in her like slightly bigger giant mode. She's running at him, and she was momentarily swayed when she heard the bonsoir. She's a simple gal, okay? But the second she heard about, you kill men to get from point A to B, and then, women are a pleasure. She was like, oh no, sorry, you're instantly not attractive anymore. She's very much a words gal, It's all about that. So she's running for him. She aims straight for the side of his neck. And she is, of course, yelling, Lenora! Jenkins!
Isn't she raging?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make her make...
I raised straight away. I raised outside.
And
she was
my
ready.
friend, as you enter Bluebeard's space, and as you do indeed strike into the neck, the sheer heat of Bluebeard cascades over you, and you take 7 points of fire damage.
Motherfucker. I'm raging. Oh no, wait. Oh shit, I can't. I only do half on piercing damage.
Yes,
Right, yeah,
bludgeoning,
shit,
piercing, and
okay,
and
bludgeoning,
slashing.
piercing, yeah.
So
Okay. Fuck.
as the 7 points, as that, so all of you could see that. I think Leonora, she isn't. There's no element of her being cowed or being pushed back by this, but her skin absolutely does flash a bright red as almost that a kind of immediate 3 hours in direct sunlight effect. Leonora, does that end your turn?
Then I twerk.
You twerk.
I
Okay.
twerk so
Okay,
that I
Elizabeth.
can cast my poison ability for once. There's a reason for this, James. I'm not just twerking for no reason.
Even if you were, I would 100% be on board with it. I mean, that is a great taunt. I love that.
It's a bonus action.
It's a bonus action, and because I am wearing the armor of fungal spores, which means that he has to beat a DC of 15, or he gets
on what stat? Is it a con check?
I think it's con.
Constitution saving throw. He is a +10 to con.
Fuck.
And rolls a natural 2.
Yes!
He is poisoned for how long?
Let me look up the exact details, but he's poisoned. I'll DM you.
I got you. You're awesome. At this point, it is either Woodle or Silver. Who would like to go?
I'll go next. Did he have like a little? Was he holding like a bowl, like the wolf?
Oh, as in the pipe. The bowl of the pipe is shaped like a wolf's snarling head, but he put that down on the chair.
Gotcha. I'd use my bonus action first to Misty Step to sit on his throne. And like essentially then immediately send catapult directly at the back of his head with his pipe. So that's a dex saving throw of 13.
Okay. Natural 20.
Okay, then yeah.
You. Yeah.
So
it went for his head.
Half? Does that still do half?
It should say on the spell, Brian.
Sorry, yes, when it's
Also, Rachel, yes, the poison lasts until the end of your next turn, I believe. Absolutely brilliant.
I was still I saw that, but I was like, but what does that actually do? He just has the
poison. Poison gives him disadvantage on attack rolls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
which is unbelievable.
Sorry, I'm reading it. Object flies straight line, stopping early. It's blah blah blah. On a failed save, object strikes a target and stops moving. So half damage, I believe. So that was 12.
So that is 6 points. A lot of 12s being reduced to 6 in this. Excellent. Okay. So it actually still, even though he, with preternatural speed, given his size, it does actually. Is it fire damage, Brian?
No, it's just bludgeoning.
That's so good. That's awesome. Okay, it actually does crack into a little bit of the back of the skull. And yeah, Silver just exquisitely, and you teleported as well, so he can't.
I teleport, so I'm just lounging on the throne behind him.
My friend, as you lounge, Woodle, what you got?
All right, so a couple of things are going to happen very fast. So one, Woodle's going to dive in. He's got his sickle out now, so he uses, because red caps always use sickles, but it has the same stat block as a short sword. And he's going for because he's so short, even though in disguise self he appears taller, he's very short, so he's going for the inside of the leg. And I'm going to cast Booming Blade as I attack. And then immediately, as soon as I hit, I'm using Cunning Action to disengage and bounce out. As I'm lunging, I say, "Learn to do the dishes," and then I go in for the femoral artery on the inside of the leg.
Yes, my friend, make your attack.
All right. 12.
12 versus AC is a miss, my friend. As your blade slides, his body is much too quick, but you do make that comment. And do you have any other things you can do on your turn?
So I used disengage, so he shouldn't get any.
No attack of opportunity.
No opportunity attack. Booming Blade. I don't know if it still hits since I missed. But otherwise, I'm just bouncing back out.
My friend, Bluebeard activates heat and pressure, not an opportunity attack. When an enemy moves out of his reach, the enemy must make a DC 18 Constitution saving throw.
No, I did not.
My friend, you gain a level of exhaustion. Your body feels sapped of energy. So with one level of exhaustion, not too bad. Disadvantage on ability checks, but for the moment,
Okay.
okay. So as if summoned, however, by your dishes comment, something happens. I'm just adjusting my setup here. Here we go. Falling out of the ceiling, flying down, arching her back almost like the bow of some sacred musical instrument. She lands, wrapping one leg around Bluebeard's neck, sliding herself up so that she's atop him. She yanks his head up by the jaw, by that lantern jaw, and stares down at him. Jean, she says, "Bonsoir, mon cher," and casts lightning bolt down. I need all of the members of the party to roll a D. Sorry, I think it's 8d6. So Brian, could you roll 2d6? KT, roll 2d6. Rachel, roll 2d6. James, roll 2d6. We're going to add all that together, and that is Jean's fury in the form of lightning.
10 from me.
Ooh, I got 11.
21. KT, you're muted. You're good.
10.
31. And 10 from Rachel, you're also muted. And that is 41 points of lightning damage. You watch as Bluebeard becomes a pillar of crackling blue and white. However, as that clears, the crackles moving across his form, he says, Bien, madame. You watch as he cracks her once in the stomach, sending Jean toppling over the throne, turns towards Lenora and says, Madame, and strikes. It is, okay, multi-attack. Oh, no. So it's 25 versus your AC and then a natural 20, Rachel.
So so can I cast Silvery Barbs?
Yes, you can. Does that transform the natural 20 into another roll?
Yes, so one reaction when a creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself succeeds in an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw. Instantaneous. You magically distract the triggering creature and turn its momentary uncertainty into encouragement for another creature. Triggering creature must re-roll the d20 and use the lower roll.
Hell yeah.
And
then
how does that manifest as I'm rolling?
As in, sitting on the throne, being like, nope. Try again.
Brian?
Yeah?
I'm just going to take a photo of this. I just rolled another natural 20.
Fuck off!
And then I'll be like, I tried.
So I'm just going to send that to Rachel as a moment of proof. It's a pink dice, Rachel. So from me to you, much love.
So
just like the old shirt. So
the other part of Silvery Barbs is that I can then choose a different creature I can see within range.
Okay.
And the chosen creature has advantage on the next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw it takes within 1 minute.
Who is going to get that advantage?
Lenora.
That's unreal. That was really clever. I like that. So Lenora,
Thanks, Silver.
Unfortunately, my friend, though, before that, Lenora.
Yeah, no, I get the shit knocked out of me. So yeah, 25 definitely hits, and then you rolled
a crit. Twice with the second. So
it's okay. She's a big girl. She can take it. She can take it. Yeah.
So from the first one, which isn't a crit, you take 21 points of bludgeoning damage plus 7 points of fire damage for a total of 28.
You've been damage is halved. Yes, because I'm raging.
10.
So that's 18 points of damage. Oh wait, 17 points of damage.
17 points. So then the crit. So 28 points of bludgeoning damage plus 10 points of fire damage on the crit.
She's level 4.
Sorry, what was the first one? How many points of bludgeoning damage?
28 points of bludgeoning damage reduced to 14, and then James looks worried.
I am so worried.
How many points of fire damage?
10 points.
10.
Rachel's dead.
So, not dead, my friend. Don't worry.
Well, I'm unconscious. Sorry. So, Leonora has her big moment of glory. She goes running in. She hits him in the neck, and he hits her back. he just gives her the old 1-2, and like London Bridge, she falling down. She falling down.
As she falls down, he reaches down and takes hold of her unconscious head, lifts it up towards the party, and says, "Imagine this, but mounted." And at this point, it is the end of his turn. Yeah, no, Etienne. I see Etienne doing some stuff.
Oh, wait, sorry. He had poison damage, didn't he? So shouldn't he be from my attacks?
Rachel, he has disadvantage. Yes. Now, unfortunately, Brian's one
The first
already
one still
gave
does.
him.
That's still down to 20.
Because the silvery barbs still counts
That's
there.
fine.
But if he misses
The second one, I still have 20 points of damage if he fucks up the second one.
my friend, it's a 28 versus AC.
Fuck's sake, Jesus Christ! Never mind. I'm unconscious. Never mind. Just she pops up for a second with hope, and then she's like, "No, it's okay. It's all right."
And Rachel, take a D4 for remembering that though, because I'm annoyed that I forgot that. So please take that. And at this point, my friends, it is back to your turn as Bluebeard is holding Leonora's head, and it perhaps as a kind of a hideous augury of defeats to come. What would you guys like to do?
Can I just while sitting on the throne, just point at my eyes and be like, "Frickin' laser beams."
Yep. Yes, you can.
So shoot a beam of fiery light to 120 feet, and it's a dex save. And it's 3d6.
On a dex save, it is a 14 plus 6 for 20.
That would be a dex save, yes. So
yes.
So I don't actually have all the information of the charge goggles. So does it take half damage?
Yes, it's the same as Scorching Ray.
Perfect.
Excellent.
So it is.
Did you fire all 3 beams, by the way?
No, I just did 1 of 3.
Excellent. So just 2d6 halved.
So it's 3d6.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's and that was a 9, so it's 4.5. So
so 4. Okay, excellent.
We don't end up in this family.
So after Silver has gone, seeing his sister go down, who is next?
Okay. Okay. So I have 2 second level spell slots, right?
You actually have 3.
Okay. So I have 3 second level spell slots, right?
Correct.
So I can actually use Dissonant Whispers in that and add an extra d6 of damage to it.
Yes, you can. Should you wish to. Or certain other spells might be more damaging, such as Scorching
Cloud of Daggers is only going to be good if I've got multiple people.
Do you have Scorching Ray?
No.
Then yeah, Dissonant Whispers.
I didn't take Scorching Ray. I
That's
took
okay.
the Cloud of Daggers instead. So I'm going to roll 4 d6.
I shall roll a Wisdom save. That is not so good. That is an 8. So that is he's going to take full damage and he's going to have to move.
19.
I think he has to move his full. Boom.
19.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. Actually, KT, take a certain amount of the narrative reins here. Give him a bit of an injury here.
Okay.
Nothing too bad, but give him a bit of an injury.
I was going to make him bleed out of the ears, have a little bit of blood out of the eyes, here, a little bit here. Have to shake his head. He's going to lose his hold on Leonora because.
Yes.
Because I just shocked his fucking brain, and of course his synapses are going to be like, whoa, fuck. And so yeah, he's got some blood in his eyes, blood out his ears, and he's a little dizzy and shit, and he's kind of staggering just for a sec.
Staggering backwards, and I think he moves his full distance back, so he's almost at the throne with Silver.
Sorry, Silver.
That's fine.
I didn't. He said that.
At this point, is it the case that it's Woodle, or is it Leonora's death save? Woodle, up to you.
Sorry, say that one more time.
Are you going to try to intercede with Leonora's death save, or are you going to take your turn?
So, 2 things. Well, let me ask.
I'll be fine. By the way, I've got a bunch of inspo dices to roll if I end up in trouble. So you guys go fuck them up, and I'll be over here not dying. Okay, plan for everybody.
Okay. What you got, James?
Okay, so this is my first question. So I want him to materialize, sensing blood in the air.
Yes.
All right, so Jimmy the Hand materializes in the air. Hey, motherfucker! Why are we messing with Woodle's friends? He doesn't make a lot of friends. It's really hard for him to make friends. This is fucked up. You can't be going around knocking people around like that. I'm gonna break your fucking fingers. And then the hand shoots forward and interlocks with his outstretched hand, and then tries to grapple his hand and break his fingers. Is what Jimmy the Hand is gonna do.
Interesting. Okay, make an athletics check for Jimmy the Hand. I think Jimmy the Hand has a +5.
All right.
I will roll against
19
you.
plus 5, so 24.
I get a natural 1.
Oh dear.
Yes, you do. So I'm going to say that his multi-attacks, the second one, is going to have disadvantage for the broken fingers. How does that look, by the way? How does that sound, James?
He interlocks and then he crunches down, and it sounds like a tree being struck by lightning, just cracking and breaking, just bone shards coming out. Take that, motherfucker! Nobody messes with Woodle, except me. I could slap him around a little bit, but never you. That's my thing.
At this point, Woodle, I think that was Jimmy the Hand, so that was a bonus action for you.
That was my bonus action. So Woodle is using his rogue ability to get far away. So he's using a cunning action to sneak further away because he does not want to be in melee range. And then he's going to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter by telling a joke, and he's gonna look and he's gonna say, "Hey, what kind of shorts do clouds wear? Thunderpants."
Okay.
That's
what kind of save do I have to make for Bluebeard?
You have to make let's see.
I think
Saving throw.
I think you should have disadvantage because it was such a good joke.
Yeah, good try, Rachel. So at this point,
he should have disadvantage because his brain tried to bleed out of his ears. He doesn't get disadvantage.
So unfortunately, my friend, he looks towards you, Woodle, and goes. And you watch as he keels over. So I think he's prone, right?
Yeah, so he becomes incapacitated and unable to stand up for the duration.
Oh shit!
At the end of each of its turn, it must take, and each time it takes damage, the target can make another Wisdom saving throw. But yeah, he is completely prone and unable to move for the duration of the spell.
Oh God. Okay, so here's. I've got a certain spell list up here as well. Does that end your turn, my friend?
That ends my turn. I am done.
Okay.
So I think Lenora, I forgot a little something. You see, in this fight, you do have a necromancer. You watch as Jean she runs past, leaping over the prone form, coming to Lenora, and she says, no more women hurt by you. She is going to, she has a minor feature she can use. It's a full action, unfortunately, but she is more than willing to use it in this case. Yeah. She's going to use Moonlight of Healing. So as her hair wafts out in great lunar pale light, she's actually going to heal you for not bad. Good. Yeah, 15 points.
Hell yeah.
And Lenora has fallen completely and utterly and hopelessly in love.
She's in so deep. The second she opens her eyes and there's just this cascading moonlight hair in front of her, and this woman just going, no more. And Leonora's like, yes.
In French accent, no more.
Yeah. And Leonora, no more. As you look up at her, as she lifts you back to your feet, she indicates Bluebeard prone and says, I do not think he heard your name. You should say it again.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh. Not to ruin the moment, but don't I have to use a move to get up?
No. So in this case, it takes half movement, only 15 feet.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, D&D works a little differently to BG3. It's weird.
Wait, so that's only 8, but I'm going to roll my D8 to hit this fucker. 7, which is 15.
Unless you have anything to... Oh, remember, you do have advantage. He's prone.
Oh, he's prone. Okay, we'll go again.
Thanks to Tasha's hideous laughter.
Thank you. 18. Okay, yeah.
Yes, that is a hit.
21, which is a dirty 21.
And actually, here's an interesting thing about Tasha's hideous laughter. Incapacitated actually means a specific thing. That's a crit, Leonora. So go ahead and roll double damage.
Yeah, let me fuck him up. Hang on. That is 7, and then 15 plus 7 is 20.
22.
22?
22.
22.
What's the damage?
What does it look like?
Leonora Jenkins is what it looks like.
Yep. Actually, and here's the thing, that, and then there's just a spray of bright blood and fire. I think as soon as that happens, Bluebeard's eyes roll back from his paralyzed state, and he has made his save, unfortunately, Woodle. But the effects of the crit are felt. His chest has been laid open. Inside, it's like looking in through his rib cage. Looking through that is like looking through the grate of a furnace. The fire blazing blue hot and licking out in sapphire tongues. He looks up at Leonora, looks at the group around, and he says, I think he says,
Jean, you have guided them here, not for a feast of vengeance, but for flambe.
You watch as his body erupts for a moment, fire filling the entire room. He is going to use molten flesh. I need every creature within 60 feet, that's all of you, to make a Constitution saving throw.
What are we trying to beat?
The number you're trying to beat here is... It's
I
actually
rolled
lower than his heat pressure. It is 15.
I did 15.
That is a success.
18 plus 1.
Success.
Oh, did I?
Natural
good, I'm not.
1.
Natural 1.
No.
Silver.
Am I allowed to use that D8?
Yes.
Yeah, use the D8.
Yeah. So I got 18.
Okay. So Leonora is the only one who takes 42 damage. The rest of you take 21 points of fire damage.
Oh my god, I have 1 hit point.
As the fire inside Bluebeard erupts. He, however, is also going to take some of that damage.
Good.
So how
One
much
last
damage do
one.
you get on a successful save?
21.
We took 21, you said?
21 even on a successful save. Leonora, however, you have been brought back, delivered a critical blow, and then back down. Yes,
Back
yes,
down
yes.
again.
That was so good.
There's just a little thumbs up as I go down.
Yes. Silver.
No, it wouldn't work. Shield wouldn't have helped me, would it? It would have only raised my AC.
It merely increases your AC.
Gotcha. No worries.
My friends, as his laughter like crackling fire wafts over you, and as you can see what look like the blackened husks of the brides' heads arrayed and smoking like sick effigies upon their mounted mannequins, you can see that Bluebeard
pushes himself to his feet. This is going to be delicious. I intend to eat your tongues before I place you upon the bust.
It is the heroes again. What would you guys like to do?
So I think to start us off, I'm going to go with Vicious Mockery.
What do you say?
Because we're made of fucking wood, and you still couldn't fucking kill us with fire.
It is a wisdom save. Natural 2. Go ahead and roll damage.
So that is 3 points of damage.
Hey, every little counts. Excellent.
But
Okay.
the other thing is that, like, so he gets disadvantage on his next attack roll.
Excellent.
Okay, so I've got 1 hit point left.
Mhm.
Use that health potion that we got earlier. Oh, you used it before. I remember that. When you had full
You're only
HP.
Brian. You're only allowed to use 1 vicious mockery per round.
Am I able to cast stuff with like 1 hit point left?
Your hit points don't have any effects upon
Oh,
your.
good. I just was wondering if I was like staggering around like I'm drunk because I'm like half
fine.
dead.
Okay.
So, okay, so I'm going to Dissonant Whispers his brain again with my 4 die. I'm going to use a 2nd level spell slot.
That is going to be a success, but he's going to take half damage.
Damn it. Oh, 16, so he takes 8.
You're clutch with the rolls. Very, very nice, KT. So at this point, one of his, I think actually the Dissonant Whispers are so effective against him at this point that one of his eardrums burst completely.
Cool.
And I think that he would.
And then he'd have equilibrium problems.
Yeah, for sure. The balance is not so genteel. Exceptional, my friend. Does that end your turn?
Yeah, I don't have any bonus actions.
You and
that help.
Silver going for the kind of the psychic 1-2 punch. Do we have a next person?
Yeah, I'll go. So Jimmy the Hand is de-evaporated. He's gone because he used all of his fury to crush this creature's hand.
Yes.
Woodle he looks at this guy and he says, "Hey, you're looking very sleepy and a little bit grumpy. I feel like you could use a good nap. Just a little lay down might serve you well. And so I'm going to cast Sleep. And then I'm going to direct my hands toward this creature, as far away from my opponent or my allies as I can, but still encompassing him in the 20-foot area of effect. And I'm casting Sleep.
What level are you casting it at?
I only have 1st level spells, so I'm casting it 1st level. But it says that there's not a saving throw at all.
There is not. Roll 5d8.
Oh my! I don't even have hold on. I'll have to get a die. I don't have 5d8. I should have come prepared.
You're good. You're good.
Dice roller. 8. 4, 5. All right. Roll them all. 15.
15 is insufficient. He has more than 15 hit points. Your torpitude has no claim upon me, impersonator of my last love.
Well, it's unfortunate for me and unfortunate for you because you're very cranky and you could use a sleep. I was trying to do you a favor, but whatever. I guess I'll just show myself out and you can just be unappreciative like you were of all of your other wives. So yeah, you're a bad friend and a bad person. I don't feel bad about any of the stuff that's happening to you.
You could show yourself out, or I could show it to you.
At this point, my friends, he is Woodle is in his sights. There has been so much antagonism. I think that, but it is not his turn. I think we still have Lenora to go.
Can I use my before my turn ends? Can I use my cunning action to hide? I'm deeply afraid of this man that I have antagonized. So I'm like, and then I'm trying to hide.
So when you're in the depths of combat, cunning action hide generally, certain DMs roll with disadvantage, and unfortunately I'm one of them. I think it's difficult to hide in such a circumstance. So you can roll twice and take the lower result.
I will absolutely do that. I should point out that I do have Mask of the Wild. It's one of my Fey ancestry abilities that allows me to hide even in difficult or well-lit situations. So,
oh, well, in that case, my friend, I stand corrected. Go ahead and roll normally. No need for disadvantage.
Well, I still rolled an 8, so it was not good.
Fuck a look at dingo.
It sounds very Woodle.
I think that Woodle.
I did not use my D8. I'm going to use my D8.
Use your D8.
And I rolled a 7 with my 8, so 15, if that makes a difference.
So Woodle, as he's looking directly at you, right? But for some reason, whether it's actually hold on, I'll tell you something. Lenora, can you make your death save?
Yeah, I got an 18.
Okay. He goes. So all he hears is Lenora making a sound or uttering a word, which is.
Fuck.
He goes, what? And as he looks back to you, you're gone. Woodle is gone.
Missing school helps again. Yay!
So at this point, then you get your necromantic friend 2 blades and is going to dive in. I can actually, in fact, just because Rachel, would you be comfortable rolling these 2 d20s for me? Go ahead and add 8 to each of the results.
Okay. Oh my God! Don't make me do math. Okay. Natural 20, my first of the session.
Yes.
And a 3. 11. So that's 28 and 11.
The natural 20 is going to be good. Could you go ahead and roll me a d8, please? And then we're going to double it.
Oh, yeah. What is that? That's a 6.
At this point, so that doubles, and okay, perfect. That does this. Excellent. So as he is looking around, he says, "Where did he go? I do not even know his name." And you watch as slipping up behind him, cast in a halo of fire, some of the elements of her white hair slightly scorched, but still gorgeous, seeming to evoke moonlight. She slices open his leg. His name is Woodle. He is my friend. Jean lays open his leg, the blood and fire squirting out in sizzling jets. Bluebeard heads over. He's on one knee now, looking up at Jean. You are still so beautiful. I know, and you are still so hideous. It is Bluebeard's turn, and he is going to go all out on Jean.
With disadvantage because of vicious mockery.
He's also got his busted hand. Don't forget about his busted hand.
I rolled a natural 20 and a natural 1.
We know which one he gets.
So then I will
You
roll with
leave
disadvantage
Jean-
on the second strike, thanks
Leave
to
Jean alone.
which
You leave Jean alone.
oh Rachel, unreal. The busted hand from Jimmy.
Jimmy the head. Don't
Is
forget
good.
my name.
That's disadvantage again. As he reaches up to try to throttle her and to squeeze her neck, which he had intended to cut, she drops her blades, takes his hands, holds them firm, looks at the rest of you all. Finish this for us, for the brides of this monster. Who's up? That's Bluebeard's turn. His face falls, all of the arrogance melting away. Who's up?
Can I go first because I have a line that I want to say before he dies? All right, so I'm
Absolutely.
hidden, but I'm dashing forward with my sickle, and then I appear right before him, and then I say, "My friends call me Woodle. You are not my friend. You can call me Malachal the Dread, Shadowbringer of the Crimson Lands," and then I slash him right in his injured leg.
Go ahead and make an attack roll with advantage, and make sure that to add your sneak attack to the damage if it does hit. If
All right,
this hits,
for my advantage, I have a 17, and I don't know what sneak attack. Let me look. I can't remember.
are you a third level rogue?
Fourth level rogue.
It's an additional. I believe it's an additional 2d6 points to your regular damage roll.
Oh, excellent! And it's only 1d6 for my regular damage. I am using Booming Blade with that, so it's still not very much. I only did 5 points of damage, but Booming Blade does hit. So if he moves voluntarily 5 feet, he takes an additional 1d8 thunder damage.
Honestly, just look. The rules say he has to move. Roll Booming Blade damage.
All right, excellent. All right, 1d8. Where are you? There you are. And I got 5 on that. So I think it was a total of, I think I got 6 on the standard and 5 for a total of 11 damage.
With a total remainder of 7 hit points, how would you like to kill Bluebeard, Woodle?
Oh my God. This is so much pressure. I've never done this before. What? It's really on right now.
Hey, she touches your shoulder. My friend, finish it.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean forward and I'm just going to press both of my hands over his mouth and I'm going to slowly, it's okay. It's all right. It's just take a little nap now. It's going to be all better on the other side of this. I'm so sorry it had to come to this, but it's fine. And I'm going to pinch his nose with one hand and then I'm just pressing down with all of my weight as I slowly strangle him to death. Whispering,
my friends, as the strangulation takes effect, as the battle outside rages on, as Sydney attempts to indulge in a kind of the foray in the peacemaking between the beheaded brides and the snails in service of Bluebeard, in this cauldron of violence and heat, this house of a killer, Woodle, scion of a mafiosa family, sends him down and down and down. And as you watch Jean slice off his head, she says, "And now he sleeps with the fishes." And that's where we will end our game. My friends, we will do because I think we won't have James for next month, so we definitely need to do this Woodle. But that's where our credits begin to come up, and so we have to have a goodbye with Woodle, and then next month we'll jump into what happens next with the brides, what happens next with Jean, and with your party. But how do you guys say goodbye to Woodle, and because he's going to fade?
Oh, Woodle, you were magnificent, and I am proud to call you my friend. That was really fucking awesome finishing move, mate.
Oh, you are such a good friend too. This has been such a learning experience for me. I made so many friends, people who actually call me Woodle because I finally have friends. And I also learned that sometimes the best thing you can do is murder someone in there, like coldly and just very viciously. That has a place in the cycle of life. So I think it was a learning experience for all of us.
Who's next?
I would like to go over to him and take out the picture that he had done for me. And I said, "Could you sign this, please, to your best friend, Silver?"
I would
You're
love to
such
do
a
that.
stuck up.
Wait, no. And then I'd be like, also, I think you should, don't worry, we'll take care of it. We can cut off the head. But I think you should take that head back to your father and show him that you are not a pushover and that you are one incredible assassin.
Jean will hand the severed head of Bluebeard to you, Woodle, and says, "Put it up somewhere where people can see it."
I think that is such a sweet idea. I have decided to commemorate it in portrait form. This is that. This is us. The whole house is on fire, as you can see. And it's me there with my red head, and it's his head that I'm going to take back to my father to show him that I'm not a disappointment, and that maybe over time I can really become the Sarkhan of the mafiosa empire that he wants me to be.
And just thank you, Jimmy. Yeah.
I don't like you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your deal is. But here's what I'll say. You can go fuck yourself. That's what I got for you right there. Jimmy the handout, motherfucker.
And Leonora?
Well, I'm unconscious, but I hop up for 2 seconds.
No. Your
now?
allies bring you back to one.
I kind of limp over a little bit, and I just lean down. It's like, Woodle, you're the best wingman.
I appreciate that. I hope that you and that very lovely woman are happy together. I hope that you do dishes. I really cannot stress this enough. She does not like it if her spouse does not do dishes. It's a very important dynamic in the relationship. So a little bit of advice for you moving forward.
I got it. I'll take it to heart. Thank you, Woodle. Thank you.
Woodle, any parting words for the company?
This has singularly been the best day of my life. Yes, I had to murder someone and I had to press his face down with my hands, which was very traumatic. I'll have to see a therapist about it. But overall, this was absolutely the best day of my life. I cannot imagine having such a good group of friends to adventure with. I wish you the best of luck, and should you ever need me, I probably won't come back. But know that you'll be in my heart, and that I will think of you fondly as I adventure the world of the Feywilds.
And with that, seeming to... Brian, were you about to say something?
No.
Oh no, I was just like, I'm just really glad we all fucking saved the we all killed the dude who killed the dragon.
At this point, my friends, as if Bluebeard's light has been transmogrified for the better, the blue light from his severed head begins to enfold Woodle, guiding him away, and with a brief flash of butterfly wings.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, my friends. It was such a pleasure.
And as that happens, as that parting word echoes in your ears, we bid farewell to an incredible new memory for the party and an unbelievable guest. Gang, thank you for that session. James, thank you.
That was awesome, dude.
Also, Can we just turn around like Silver turning to KT and be like, "You're never using the fucking fairy again."
I do believe that Aetiyen already said that Aetiyen was never using the fucking fairy again.
As in, like, they're just like, this can never be topped. We should just
No.
abandon the fairy.
What's it?
My friends, we will do a we'll go from person to person. Tell this. And by the way, audience, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for the incredible comments. There was a lot of like support, a lot of laughter, and a lot of goofs, and it was unreal. Thank you. So yes, let's go from guest to guest, from star to star, and then to guest, and we'll tell us who you are. Where can we find you? What are you working on? And maybe something that you've got coming up. Maybe we could start with Brian.
I'm Brian J. Nordan. I write Quest Academy. Scavengers will be coming out on audiobook on the 4th of June, so that's only a couple of weeks away, which is very, very exciting for everyone, except James just walked away. But, you know, it's fine. But
No, I'm here. 3... I hear you, Brian. I hear you.
Book 3. No, Brian's dead. He's a dead snail. So... book 3 is at 92%. It's going to be in with the editors in the next couple of weeks, so that's great. It's like Patron is really enjoying it, so everyone, like, I'm very, very happy with it. But yeah, all good with me. You can find me on Amazon, you can find me on Patreon, you can find me on Royal Road if you want to read Wildcards, which I haven't updated in 2 years. Actually, don't do that. Sorry.
Read Quest Academy though, gang. It's awesome.
Quest Academy.
It's so good, guys. I've read both of them. They are absolutely phenomenally well written. Can't say, well, I mean, I could say a lot of bad things about Brian, but I can't say many bad things about his work. So as long as you can divorce yourself from the artist, absolutely a phenomenal read.
And speaking of
divorce is beheading.
And speaking of phenomenal writing, let's go to KT Hanna.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That was a nice segue. So I've written Somnia Online, complete at 7 books, which is like a slight anomaly, right? Which is the name of the second book, coincidentally. And I've written 3 books in Tao Wong's system Apocalypse universe in Australia, because of course if the apocalypse goes to Australia, that's just going to be a whole lot of new fun because everything can already kill you anyway. And library system reset is coming out on July 2nd, and it will be a simultaneous release with audio, ebook, and paperback. And I'm really fucking excited, and it's over on Royal Road right now, doing pretty decently. So
it's doing awesome
yay.
Because it's an awesome book.
Thank you. I love it. I love writing again. So thank you, book.
And who's your narrator for that one? I heard a little
Andrea Parsno. She's recording it right now. She's recording it this week. So
amazing. Here's the thing about Andrea Parsno. She narrated a book that I recently listened to and was very affected by. I thought it was sublime. And it was written by Rachel Chuirc. Rachel, would you mind chatting about you?
Yeah, look at it.
Yes, Calamity.
So my name is Rachel Chuirc. My very first book just came out. It's also narrated by Andrea Parsno, and it's very exciting. And my second book is out August 22nd. And my third book, I'm at 120K. It'll be with the editor soon, so all 3 will be out this year. It's very exciting.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that second novel?
The second novel is called Desecrate.
Yes.
So Rachel, I am also currently listening to the audiobook right now. It's my one that's queued up on deck. It partly because I met you at JordanCon, I was like, she's kind of awful, but I guess I'll give it a try. But Andrea Parsons is just so good. I mean, she can't she is the Travis, the female Travis Ball. She's so good. Listening to her is like listening to a full cast production. It's amazing. But no, it's so good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm only about halfway through, but it's phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
Unreal.
And last one. Yes. You can find me. I'm now a cringy millennial on TikTok. So you can find me on TikTok at Quiggletons if you want to see a bunch of random shit.
And look, hey, Calamity, Desecration, James Hunter, the man himself, our incredible guest. James, you breathed a beautiful life and energy into this session. Please tell the people where they can find you and what you're working on.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm James Hunter. I've been out for a long time. I've written a lot of books. I'm up to 43 now, I think. So I've been doing this for a minute. I also run Shadow Alley with my wife, Jeanette. So we have a lot of great books and great titles that are coming out. Unintended Cultivators coming out here, and Bog Standard Isekai by Miles English. I also have a lot of books. This is probably my most well-known series, Viridian Gate Online. 8-book complete series. There's also an enormous expanded universe, Rogue Dungeon, also complete series at 6 books, narrated by Nick Bedell. Vigilbound, another series. There's just so many. I can't stop. I'm so sorry, guys. I have an addiction to fiction. It's a real problem. 4 books. I have one left in that one, narrated by Luke Daniels. If you liked Woodle and the kind of silly antics, check out this one from me and my buddy Aaron Michael Ritchie called Shadowcroft Academy for Dungeons. It's exactly as silly as that character was. So if that's kind of your jam, less serious, more kind of funny off the cusp, check that one out. And then the one I'm working on, Discount Dan, it's up on Royal Road right now. This one won't be out till a little bit later in the year. Audible Studios just picked up the rights, so they're going to be producing it. But I'm working on book 2 now, and this one is sort of Dungeon Crawler Carl meets Jake Magical Market. So it's fun, it's wild. You can read it all for free up on Royal Road, so check it out there.
I was lucky enough to get a signed copy of Discount Dan from James at JordanCon, and I'm reading it currently. And gang,
that's a shame. You should not be doing that. If you value yourself, you should make better choices.
Well, look, you all could make a great choice by picking it up as soon as it's available. This is an incredibly talented author, but his series speak for themselves. So yes, and I'm Jack Fields. I've been your Fable master, and my debut novel Scarlet Citadel is coming out on June 7th, and I'm very excited and very happy, and that's all. I shan't gush, but
no, I have to
and
say,
it's real fucking good.
Jack. Yeah, it's real. So I was gonna say, because I got an art copy from Legion, and so I'm reading it. I'm only about 20% into it, but it's like it is a phenomenal debut. It's very Neil Gaiman meets Terry Pratchett. It's incredible. The writing is great. The dialogue is brilliant. It's whimsical, kind of scary, odd and weird in the best possible ways, much like Jack. So it's I can't wait for the release to come out and see how it does. It's a phenomenal book.
Thank you. That was incredibly kind. And yes, and to you, audience, thank you for tuning in. And yeah, this was the last Sunday Squad, and we were lucky enough to have James Hunter, and who knows who we'll have next month. See you next time, gang. Everyone, hold a pose of farewell, but like maybe do like a motion as well. hold it on pain of death. No hand, no little Jimmy hand.
Are we